believe it would be live in just a moment, just to confirm. You have us on your end, Victoria?
Yes.
I'll wait for your confirmation.
And we are live.
All right. Hello, everyone. My name is Matthew. I'm going to be your dungeon master, and welcome to Stories to D4. Today is our first stream, and I'd like to take a moment and just tell you a little bit about myself, our players, and kind of just what we're all about. For the past few years, these players before me and I have played through a few campaigns, a load of one-shots. We've experienced laughs, tears, and a lot of natural ones. We've played a few different tabletop games, most notably Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition and Pathfinder. After completing our last campaign, we decided to get together and bring our setting to you in a new adventure, and our first time streaming, both individually and as a group. For those of you who are not familiar with what Dungeons & Dragons is, first off, welcome to the community. We're super welcoming, and we like dice. Dungeons & Dragons, what was that? Okay. Dungeons & Dragons is a game all about collaborative storytelling. The people around this table are going to be the main characters of our story. They are going to be our heroes, our focal characters. My job as a dungeon master is to play as every friend and foe they meet along their journey. I describe situations, these players then react to them, and depending on both the rules, a bunch of randomness from dice, and my whims, the universe will respond. I want to thank all of you for joining us today for our first stream, and this project has meant a lot to all of us, and we're lucky to have each other. Now, I want to introduce you to our players. Clella, would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure. Hi, I'm Clella. I'm playing a 23-year-old quarter elf named Olilia Arendraw, and she is a magus, which is a homebrew class that Matthew helped us bring in from Pathfinder.
All right, hi, I am Victoria. I'm going to be playing a wizard, which is super exciting for me because I last played a bard, and so a little different there, a little bit different. I'm super excited to do that. I am a human.
Okay.
Hi, my name's Connor. I'm going to be playing Laurentius Thorn, Sorcerer. So, let's see what happens.
That's fair. Hello, my name is Jake. I'm playing a Loxodon Fighter, and I just want to hit stuff, and my friends invited me along, so that's about where I'm at. Yeah.
I'm Amanda. I am playing a dwarf artificer named Gwynwyn Grandfear. I'm best friends with Silas, so, we have some fun short and tall dynamics going on here.
Oh, because she's short and she's a dwarf. I get it.
Okay. Let's do a little update from when last we met. When we all gathered together, you all were someone else. Another hero, another adventure, another life. Heroes, champions, guardians. Decades ago, on the continent of Gren, you all saved the realm from invaders, monsters, and beings from beyond the Veil. The final rebellion of the evil elven tyrant known as the Blue King was stopped. It was a violent, bloody conflict in which both nation and deity alike fell. When the world needed you most, a group of heroes known as the Guardians of the Silver Dawn rose to the occasion and saved the realm, bringing about a new era of peace. But now, about 40 years later, you, my dear heroes, are someone new, someone I'm very excited to meet. A fresh page with which to write your new story. Let us begin the tale today on the first session of Stories to D4. I always like the game at the beginning of campaigns, just determining who we should start with. Who gets to be put on the spot first? I'm watching.
I'll do
They
it.
look the most nervous, so.
I think me is also you. We're together here.
Yeah, you come as a pair.
It's a very strong word.
Thorn showed up with a friend as well.
Yeah.
You have a new bestie?
Excitingly, this is the page that was lost. We're gonna do this live. We're back in Gren, a beautiful isle in the western seas of the world we know. It has been decades of peace and prosperity, though there have been some conflicts between the homes of your kingdom and some of the neighboring territories. Overall, it is a calm era. Traveling eastward along the trail, we see a small caravan, a woman, a young dwarven woman, sitting next to an older human man. Alongside them, standing nearly 8 feet tall, is a gray-skinned Loxodon, a sort of elephant man, towering over them, slowly sauntering next to the horse-drawn cart. The cart is filled to the brim with all sorts of trinkets, trade goods, metals, food, supplies that will be needed in your destination. Gwynwyn and Silas, it has been around a week or so since you left your home in Anton's Rest. Where most travelers worry about brigands or the beasts of the land, you've been lucky. Since signing on with your current employer, Oswald Cappleberry, it's been relatively safe travels. Where you're headed is the Kingdom of Eltz. Before you, you see the wall that delineates the line between the Vorox Empire, where you grew up, and this new land and the start of another adventure. Oswald turns to you, Gwynwyn, gives you a little bit of a smile. The two of you have spent this last week swapping stories, him telling, of course, about what it's like to be a traveling merchant and trading between the Empire and the Kingdom, and you telling more than one story about how your laboratory experiments have gone poorly. Amused by your artifice, he's less amused by his helping hand Silas, who has complained a bit about the work he's done over the previous journey, but has done it nonetheless. With your large companion nearby, the two of you see your destination before you. The portcullis of the gate is still lowered and does not appear that any guard is left yet. You're probably around 200 feet or so from the entrance. Would you guys like to describe to me a little bit more what you look like? We'll start with you, Gwynwyn.
So Gwynwyn has bright red hair and kind of grayish eyes, but she's very much covered in soot. Experiments can go wrong sometimes. Sometimes things catch on fire, and it's fine. I promise you, everything's fine.
It's the price you pay for alchemy.
Exactly. And if things are gonna catch on fire a lot, why bother constantly getting cleaned up? You might as well just live with it.
She has a point.
Yes, the young dwarven woman, still sitting in the cart with your employer, is relaxed, and for the moment has failed to set anything on fire, at least for the last 24 hours. You've noticed the past week of travel, while safe, has been laden with lots of storms and rain, and there's still that heavy, thick scent of wet grass, and the air is still thick with that humidity. Silas, tell us a little more what you look like, how you're feeling about this morning.
So, we've all heard about tall, dark, and handsome. This is tall, gray, and elephant. Not much else to be said. Really, how I feel this morning is that two people have sat in a cart all day and I have had to walk. And that has been my adventure with them.
And now we had this discussion before stream. How many sore toes do you have?
I believe 5 was the discussion.
Is it all 5
Yeah, I think
of
it's
your
all 5.
toes?
Yeah. They're just, it's not a pretty sight. They're turning like gray for
Clella, you appear to have a correction.
Is that 5 toes in
Per
total?
foot?
Or, is there 3-2 split?
That's
just
a
5?
personal question.
Okay, I'll wait.
You don't
I'll
even
wait.
know him yet.
I mean, I've
I
never
guess-
seen elephants.
Clarification.
There are
on elephant
boundaries
anatomy.
between players, I suppose.
Yeah, this is just a little too much for me. Find me a drink first. Yeah, so I am chipper, to say the least.
As you begin to approach the gate. While the portcullis is not open, you see that just to the right, in one of the turrets of this large, almost castle-like wall that separates the two nations, a small door opens and a human figure dips their head under the archway to the door and steps out to meet you. They're dressed in a relatively simple set of splint mail, a short sword on one of their hips, and a small horn on the other. A town guard or a soldier of some sorts. Takes a few steps closer to you, looks up at the cart, just calls out, "Now hold, please. We haven't had caravans for a few days. You'll have to excuse me, there's a bit of a unusual protocol. Do you have a manifest?"
He does.
Yes.
Oswald, your merchant leader, looks over towards you, Gwynwyn, and just gives a little bit of a nod and continues to watch Silas do all the work.
Let me get that for you on behalf of our generous benefactor. Excuse myself to anywhere else in the cart.
Okay. You, taking a few steps around the cart, you lift up one of the sheets that has covered some of the goods that have to be kept dry, a bit of grain and flour, and are able to pull this small leather pouch that contains the ship's manifest, or the cart's manifest. If you'd like to take a look over it before handing it over to the soldier, make sure everything's in order, you may. What would you like to do?
Math is hard, but I want to look like a good employee, so I am going to fake it till I make it.
Give me a real quick, just investigation check as we gaze over what you've got here in the cart.
First dice roll.
First roll.
I'm not sure I'm ready for this. I missed!
We're ready.
I missed, but it's a... But...
As a reminder, if it ain't in the tray, it ain't in play. Does not count. Roll. So I'd like to mention to everyone, our first roll was a no contest, does not apply.
Yeah.
Starting off strong.
Seems pretty applicable to my life. Let's go. Fuck. Our language. It's a 1.
We're all gonna die.
Looking over the manifest, Silas. You're not. And then is that after modifiers?
Yeah, that's after modifier. Whoa.
Looking over the manifest, there's a couple of trade goods, some of the items you grabbed from your salvage operation, but just really quickly looking over, there's nothing that really jumps out at you as the guard's gonna want this, and there doesn't seem to be any form of contraband that's been written on your manifest. Going over to hand it to the guard, who steps back and brings it back to the turret to check in with presumably the superior officer. You're given a bit of a moment's reprieve here alone with it's just the three of you. Do you do anything while you're waiting?
Numbers are hard. I couldn't even read it. I'll be completely honest.
Quinlan does pull out her alchemy jug. It's full of beer today. And so she does pour both herself and Oswald a glass. And then turns to Silas and says, "Would you like one as well?"
I'm on the job. I'm on the job.
Oswald looks at the glass pouring from this magical jug that produces. Is it? It's a large amount.
It's like
A day, isn't it, for a jug of
2
alchemy?
gallons.
Yeah,
4 gallons of beer.
4 gallons of beer for, mind you, a 55-year-old human and a younger dwarven woman. So he's super excited about it. You see him just give you kind of a wry smile. "I brought you along for a reason." Clinks the glass with you, begins taking a sip. As he kind of like leans back and looks over, he kind of just starts telling you a little bit more about where you're going. Coppersbeck's not a very militaristic town. I figured you seal this guard and that'll be the last you'll get of him. I don't know what the holdup is though. I don't think I've seen the gate closed since the plunder conflicts.
Plunder conflicts?
I suppose you didn't really hear much about them in the rest. Here in the scuffle, we had some issues with old Mazkala, pirate queen of the scuffle. Used to come around and, well, send some of her folks inland. They fancy themselves a bit of raiders, taking some advice from the roan folk. I wouldn't worry about it. It's been 15 or so years. Around this time, you see, stepping once again out of the turret, same human guy, probably 18, 19, just finding a way to make a little bit more coin, takes a few steps outwards, and steps up close to the cart. The horse kind of just, as he passes by, just a little bit of concern as the guard, clinking armor, steps near him. Terribly sorry. We will ask for you to bring your cart to the home of our lord. Unfortunately, he's not currently in town, but the steward will see you. We're having a bit of an issue when it comes to caravans not arriving, and as such, there will be incentives financially for you to sell your goods here in Coppersbeck before moving on to wherever your final destination is. You will, of course, be fairly compensated, and if you're looking for work in the interim, we have things available for you.
Sounds good.
Sounds like we don't have a choice.
Oswald just kind of rolls his eyes and gives a small nod. A little quick whistle from the guard, and you hear the clanking of mechanisms as portcullis is pulled up, presumably by people within or above the walls. As it pulls up, the small town of Coppersbeck on the edge of the Kingdom of Eltz opens up before you. Small wooden and stone buildings dotted with thatch, seemingly dyed with some of the local plants, greens, blues, and sort of an orangish yellow as far as the eye can see from where you are here in this little section. As Oswald slaps the reins and the cart begins moving forward, he uses the reins. Typically, spanking the horse is a bad idea, actually, Jake. As he begins moving in, he kind of looks around. This town is considerably larger than Anton's Rest, where you grew up, where you would assume a few hundred people live in Anton's Rest, including your admittedly well-connected family, Gwynwyn. Here you see that not only is the town represented by this small section next to the wall, protecting the town, protecting the border of the kingdom, but actually a further bit with the way south, you see that there's a thick wood that then ascends into a hill, atop which you see more structures, an extension of the city built around this natural resource. Oswald just kind of smiles as he begins moving along. It appears he knows relatively where he's going. Gwynwyn, would you give me a perception check as we begin traveling through the streets?
I'm gonna send the parent. Gwynwyn was very distracted.
How bad?
A 9.
Not that bad.
That's okay. We're in luck. We're not level 20 anymore. DCs are lower.
Good.
Gazing about the town, there's not too much exciting to say. You see Fletchery, you see what looks to be some sort of rundown bar. Moving further in the town, passing through the central market, which it's only about 10:30 in the morning, maybe 11. Most of these stalls are still closed, but despite that and the low amount of activity here, you do notice that plastered to all of the stalls are these. They almost look like wanted signs, but there's no face, there's no sketch etched upon them, and underneath, at a distance, you do see the number 3,000 written at the bottom of each poster.
Hey, Silas, go grab me a poster.
Go give me a please.
Excuse me. She paid to ride along on this cart. You are working.
Truly, I'm the one paying for it. I'm gonna go get a poster.
Taking a few steps forward, grabbing off of one of these. Are you bringing the poster back, or do you want to read it on the wall? Just to verify.
I'm just gonna grab it, bring it back. I have no courtesy.
Pulling a bit of paste and parchment off of the stall, some splinters of wood from this now damp stall coming behind with you. It's pretty simple. The gist of it is essentially, aid Coppersbeck in their time of need. 3,000 copper pieces for strong arms and brave hearts.
You have one of those.
I have the brave heart. You have the strong arm. We're good.
Am I not brave?
At the bottom of this, it gives the instructions to come see the steward of the town in order to get, if you want more information about the work. It generally seems to be a call for arms for mercenaries or, in your case, just traveling talented folks. It does mention the name of the steward, one Johann Dittich.
Is that with a J?
Dittich or Johann?
Johann.
Johann, Johann.
Okay.
Dittich, Dittich. That's gonna happen a lot.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Forever being tortured with spelling.
Now, you didn't get the impression from the guard that this was, you're not arrested. They're not mad. They're excited to see you. There's the market here has a lot of stalls that are still closed. It's getting close to 11. You guys can head down there if you'd like. Oswald is happy to, if you guys have other things you want to do around the town first, that's absolutely fine. There's no dire urgency here in this moment.
When we'll turn to Oswald. When does he get off of work?
Figure it'll take him.
It's working a 9 to 5.
Oh, let's see. It'll take a few hours to unload the cart where I want it. But first, I ought to get a nice room. I have some friends in town, and a lockup for the cart and supplies. So the way I see it, unless you feel like looking into that there note you got, you can have the day off. Figure we'll be here a few days anyways. We'll get you to the capital soon. But first, I have coin to make.
Yeah, that's the point.
Sounds fair. Shall we go do this? Because I'm kind of broke right now and you're broke as well.
I'm working. You're broke.
You got the day off? Come on.
Oh, God. Okay. Let's
Is
go.
it PTO? Or
It's not PTO, no.
Moonlighting.
Please don't bring this up. You're ruining my fantasy.
Guys, I found it. We're good. We really are.
So yeah, it looks like we're gonna go make some change.
Let's go talk with the steward.
As this pair of travelers, local heroes in their own right, begins making their way towards the home of the steward, I'm gonna move us over elsewhere in Coppersbeck to a pair of northerners who've been here a little bit longer. You both are like looking away. It's like, who is he talking about? That's
Nope.
no.
Not
We're gonna
me.
do
I'm not
a
even-
different pair of women.
I'm not even a PC in this campaign.
We're just sitting here
I'm just
watching.
here.
We've played a lot of Magic the Gathering. You're the judge for D. You're just supposed to be the judge.
I very much know that.
It's alright.
You try to
it's us
cast
again.
2 spells in the same turn. She calls judge.
I'm like, that's not how you play Dungeons and Dragons.
Ismini and Ililie. It's been a few weeks since you left home through interesting ways. And under some advisement, departing from the northern kingdom of Issel, traveling down towards Eltz, you arrived here last night. You found your way here, and rather than entering the town, you took one last night of camping beneath the stars. The general sense you've gotten since arriving is that there's some sort of tension going on here, but you didn't have a good sense of it until our curious young half-elf decided to take a look at one of these here flyers. I'm gonna pass it off to the two of you if you'd like to describe yourself and your bickering, please.
We can start with descriptions. Do you want to go
Sure,
first?
yeah. I'm Ismini Callister. I have long, well-maintained, nearly white hair, and I am walking around in the most two halves of a disparate outfit. So the top is very much more noble finery, high collar, and a raven skull pendant, flowing down into the most functional pair of pants that I could have. Yeah.
Yeah, I have no argument.
Noble up top and full Monster Hunter on the bottom.
Wow, yeah, okay.
I'm really now sad I have to follow that up. I'm Ililie Arendraw. So I'm wearing clothes that are clearly too expensive to be wearing just day to day. But
You are
it's fine.
currently standing. There's no cobblestone on this path. It is mud.
Yeah, it's. At least I don't care about these boots. It's fine. The front half of my hair is like blonde, but the rest is very brunette. And I have one blue and one green eye, which is probably a little bit disconcerting to look at. But yeah.
Nobody picks up on that.
No.
No one. Everyone's like, you have green eyes.
Green eyes. Nice.
One piece of bread is 5 gold.
No. Okay, let's start from the top, right? Okay. How
how much could a piece of bread cost?
No.
10 gold?
No.
15?
Way lower. Okay, let's start from the beginning, okay? We've been working on this for literal weeks.
Yeah, but I
okay.
was super sick on
No.
the entire ferry. You know, I don't retain information when I'm seasick. It's fine.
How many copper is a silver?
$10.
Good.
Don't know what that die was.
Good. We have this habit of doing like, do I remember this information roll? Like,
Oh
I don't
my-
trust my own character to know this. Okay, how many silver is a gold?
I'm gonna roll that over. So 10. I know that one.
Great.
But
Do you think that every person in this village has enough money to buy bread every day if it costs 10 gold? Sorry.
do they
sorry.
not? Do
sorry.
they not have 10 gold
Sorry. No.
on them?
No. No.
That's horrible. I don't like that.
Objectively speaking, you are doing very well in comparison. Okay? You are
I haven't had a shower in 4 days.
you are great.
Prestidigitation does
We'll-
not cut it.
We'll find you water of some kind, okay? We'll find you water. But first, we should probably consider doing something at all because we've
Like
walked-
this
yeah.
thing? Oh, hold up this bread.
You
Okay.
see that
The-
your companion holds up this similar, though unfortunately slightly muddy at this point, version of the poster. And again, it has this sort of very call to arms, call to adventure sort of tone on it. And 3,000 copper pieces.
They'll give it
Here.
to us in gold, right? That's just a lot of copper to carry around.
A lot of copper.
It is a lot of copper. That stuff weighs, like, has a weight to it.
I want you to think about this very, very carefully, right? If they were going to offer us 3,000 copper in gold, would they not write on the sign that it is in gold?
They could
It's-
just exchange the
It's
copper for gold, though, at the bank.
you.
Do you
are
wanna
very-
go?
You're
Do you
very
wanna go?
blessed. No, you're very blessed.
Does that mean rich? You mean rich, right?
Sahedin
Oh my
Bumbo-
god.
Sahedin Bumbo is shining her light upon you. You are blessed. You are lucky. You are very lucky. If you would like to go find out more than what this paper says, then we can do that. But let's try to take it down a notch.
Okay,
Okay.
it's fine. I'll be zen. I'll blend in.
Yeah, okay.
They're laughing suspiciously.
This is Dungeons and Dragons, everybody.
Conversion.
We're doing math.
In tens.
It's hard.
It's math.
No,
You did math, we did math.
Wow. All right.
Yeah,
I can't read.
guys. Let me wait. Rewind. Base 10, everybody. Add a 0.
So
proud
I
of you.
assume we had already packed up for the day. So
Yes. So last night, you two camped out just outside the city itself before passing through the gate this morning. As you aren't merchants, you weren't really stopped in the same way or sent anywhere. But the town has been calm so far. It's fine. It's calm. It's very small here. You've been in Jubilee many a time, and it's much smaller than Jubilee is.
it's weird.
Don't say that.
This is
not-
a perfectly normal town.
Yes. How about we just don't pass judgment on the location that we're in currently? How about that?
There's
Okay.
no mud here. I'm
That's-
not muddy.
That's not what I meant. But okay. Focus. We are here. We have a mission. We know what we're supposed to do. We have a duty to help
fair.
people in need. Right? Right? That's what you told me. You told me that we have a duty to help people in
Out
need.
of
Yeah, we,
curiosity,
Yes.
Ismini, as you describe and begin to encourage and parrot her words that we have a duty to help, I just have to ask, how... What's the right word for this? How genuine would a passerby find this to be?
It's not.
Oh, that is fair. Just wanted to check in with you.
No, I will admit, we have a duty to do this because you told me we do.
Well, I didn't really tell you anything. You were already waiting and packed, and I frankly still don't understand how you knew about my secret plan. But it's fine. It's fine.
Okay, let's go.
No one else knew about it.
Right. Okay. Right. Let's go and take care of this paper that you found first.
Yeah, let's go to the steward.
At minimum, return it to its rightful owner.
Okay. Do we see like a big house? Like an
Right. Do we know where we're going?
Yeah. Like,
So-
can we just tell where we should head?
Wow. That's going to extend even to the dice checks. Okay. Do me a favor. I'm going to ask, now, kind of two avenues for you here. Are you trying to just look where is the biggest house, or do you want to kind of like travel around, look around the natural way the city flows, and try to determine where the steward would be?
Honestly, I think I am just looking for the biggest house.
I'm going to need a perception check.
Awesome. Let's see. Perception. I add a 1. 17.
17.
I can roll above
You're
a 10,
actually
thank
in
goodness.
luck here. As you kind of gaze up, looking around, you do see a sort of palatial estate, a fine structure. You good, Jake?
Yes.
Oh, good. This sort of fine structure, painted a sort of alabaster white on the outside, that has a balcony that one would use to address the people of the market. And as you begin heading in that direction, you can see that it's surrounded by a small wall of wrought iron. There are a couple of guards patrolling on the outside of it, but you can see that there is a structure on the inside that is actually the steward's home. Within there, you see a pair of individuals a bit odd. One of them is a familiar sort of sight. There is a dwarven woman. The other, standing about 3-ish feet taller than you, and again, this is still a fair ways out, is a massive gray-skinned Loxodon, something you've read about but likely haven't seen in your travels. Yes, Victoria.
I have read anything about Loxodon.
Give me a history check.
Okay, I'm not confident.
Actually, just to verify, are you looking for more what is that, or
I'm trying-
the store, like
Yes.
histories and where do they live?
I'm trying to parse generally what I'm looking at. Like, do I know what
Give
Loxodon
me that history
is?
check. I was curious what you wanted to see what we're going to be
Right,
giving you based on that result.
23?
Wow.
I love being a wizard.
A Loxodon is a sort of beast folk that is
Great.
one of numerous species in the world we know that has various form of animal attributes. Most common is probably like the lizard folk, who are these reptiles, cold-blooded, spiky claws, all the way over to Inspiti, the Minotaur, who is part man, part bull. But Loxodons themselves don't, and as far as you know, historically haven't had their own kingdoms, but are instead, they tend to be travelers. Some traveling alone, others in larger groups. This one appears to be dressed up almost as if they were, that high have a history check, almost as if he was a Varuxi soldier. He's got a sort of puffed out gambeson atop would actually, as you see him walking, it moves kind of freely. He's wearing these kind of, they're not ostentatious. He doesn't look like he's dressed like a noble, but it's very practical and clearly would identify him on the field of combat.
And you're specifically saying that it's fitted to his body, like it fits him.
Yes, he has not picked the wrong size of clothing.
Okay, interesting.
Honestly, Jake,
Interesting.
out of curiosity, how fly does Silas look?
I mean, he looks like an elephant. What do you want me to say?
Very fly.
One second, the DM's gonna check out. Okay.
Before we
I
enter,
have a nice shirt.
Mama Grandfear helped you dress. You look good. She would not let her son run around looking bad.
Thank you.
Yes.
I love it. So you
Mama, okay, we're gonna revisit Mama Grandfear in the future. Oh my gosh. BBEG, calling it now.
before we
you can't
enter,
call it.
I can lie.
only we
no,
can call it.
explicitly by being behind the screen. No, we'll keep that to.
All the lies
that
are
is
out
actually
there. We should all
canon. In
remember.
like 6 months, we're gonna be like, we should have known the whole time. We're crazy.
Your mother is evil. Surprise.
Gray-haired bitch. She was the one.
Yeah.
There's not a gray hair on Mama Grandfear's head. How dare
Oh,
you.
really? All right.
But I
She may be
apologize.
Never
Doesn't
met him.
stress her out enough for.
Right.
You were asking something, Chloe.
Oh, before we enter, we should clean up. I'm gonna prestidigitate us to just look a little nicer. Get some mud off.
Taking in the beginnings of your training, one of the simplest spells known to an arcanist, you quickly kind of how do you cast spells?
Let me see what component. So it doesn't have one.
You good?
So it's fine. Yeah. So I just kind of rummage around a pouch
Mendos.
on my hip, pull some stuff out, whisper to myself a little bit, and then wave a hand pretty quickly, and the mud cleans itself up.
And you're doing this in public.
Yes.
Oh my.
Okay.
As you are walking a little bit closer, taking a little bit slower of a pace as you begin casting the spell, for the first time on our channel, we have a spell. Using your spell component, you pluck strings of the weave, this sort of magical essence that permeates the realm. As you do, it integrates with the small bits of magical mutterings and components you've brought alongside with you, and you watch as slowly but surely the mud, grime, dirt, and just outdoorsiness melts away from. Is this both of you?
Yeah.
Cool. It doesn't. This is a cantrip. You're able to cast this repeatedly as you're proceeding, 1 cubic foot at a time.
It's a lot
Just-
of cubic feet.
We've been sleeping in the woods.
Yeah.
I'm tired of being grimy.
Going a little bit closer, you eventually hit this cobblestone path and begin marching along. As you do, we're gonna shift once more. As you pass by this inn, I'm actually going to have us move right through its window to my dear friend Laurentius. Laurentius, it's been a troublesome week. It's been, let's call it non-ideal for you
Yeah.
the past couple of days.
Yeah, I'd say that. That's accurate.
After leaving home for the first time, congratulations, you traveled to Coppersbeck. Unfortunately, the local lord, who you had intended to meet, is not here. He's not currently in town. And in his stead is this steward who there's no real way to tell how much authority he has to assist you or get you anything that you need. The signs for aid, however, in the market, dotted on shops and stalls, they have suggested that they'll offer a okay sum of coin. You've spent your whole life being paid in coppers, and this is a mountain of them. If you manage to get a bit of coin, perhaps you can fund your travels. And the crumpled poster still sits on the table, the small table right near its window in your room in the Fickle Ferret Inn. You've got this room for the next. You actually spoke with the person in charge, and there's kind of not been a lot of business. So if you want to keep staying here, you can keep this room for several days if need be. I'd like you, if you don't mind, describe Laurentius a bit. Let me know what you're doing.
Laurentius Thorn is a half drow. It's got some nice haircut. So white hair.
It's pretty clean.
Clothes are shit. Dirty. Like got bits of like twigs and stuff in them.
Patches on the knees.
Patches on the knees. Yeah. Yep.
Well-loved clothes.
Well loved clothes. Yeah. Well lived in clothes.
Ooh.
I think I'll take that crumpled piece of parchment or poster. I'll head down to the inn and order the greasiest, most disgusting sandwich I can find.
As you order, and I quote, the greasiest and most disgusting sandwich you can get.
Yeah.
I know you were cooking.
The man behind the bar just looks at you. You know him to be Marl. Just looks at you. You got the same thing yesterday, but okay. Kind of sits up from his stool, turns around, and
Before you leave, maybe throw an ale on top of that. Not on the sandwich itself, but just
You've listened to Marl telling drunken stories, and it doesn't seem like he gets much of a shift, sober or otherwise. He might have poured it on your sandwich.
I'll flick him like the little bit of copper that I have. I'll flick him an extra.
Catches it, bites it. Ow. Turns back into the kitchen, and he's gonna go start working on your sandwich.
While I'm waiting for my sandwich, I'm just gonna review the poster that I have.
Sure.
Kind of think about the coin that it's offering, and then also think about the other jobs where I'm probably working a lot harder with those for a lot less, and this is just a lump sum.
Looking at yours actually has a bit more detail. By the authority of Kryvar Album, Lord of Coppersbeck, I, the steward, request all adventurers, heroes, and those who seek to do good come to assist in our time of need. A bunch of flowery language here. As the week has gone on, these have gotten more and more desperate and lazily written, these posters. You've been mulling this over for a bit. A bit later, you see this. You smell it before you see it, but Marl pushes through the kitchen with this wide platter, a cut long ways loaf of bread with just stacks of brisket and this sort of fried. It's some sort of long it's kind of long vegetable, kind of like asparagus, only a little bit more goblin-y, is the way I'm going to put that for now. I like how disgusted half the party was at what I just said. That'll work.
I
A
want.
long goblin's vegetable sounds wrong.
Mm.
Wait, is that not?
How many of those do you think you get?
Like it's
7.
It's a low night then.
You get one per level.
But looking at this, everything individually here was meticulously dropped in some sort of fryer and allowed to have like the crusty brown bits wherever possible.
Amazing. Start working my way through that sandwich and kind of just make some conversation with Marl and be like, what do you think of this? Does this sound legit to you?
Marl kind of just looks over the note. I don't know about legit, but if it means that we'll get more heroes through here, well, it'll be nostalgic.
Yeah. You guys had a lot of problems. I'll take the poster back.
You take the poster back, you see it was already, like, it's greasy on one side of it now. Not so much problems. I used to kind of have this bit I did with an old friend of mine. We'd have, travelers come through here, mercenaries, and people who think they're, tough shit. So every once in a while, I'd roll a die, and if it showed up too high, I'd get up in their face and start yelling at them. Anyways, I got laid out one too many times, and I put that behind me.
CTE, I get it. What was your friend's
He
name?
kind of just
by
looks
the
off
way?
into the distance.
What was your friend's name, by the way?
He kind of like, he's like in his 40s, Marl. He kind of looks a little bit sad. Frederick, we were friends before he passed. His wife, wonderful woman, works over at Philibin's Fletchery. Yeah. Kind of looks you up and down, although you don't look like the sword is going to be drawing a bow anytime soon.
Nah, not my style. I'll finish up my sandwich and wipe my hands off on the poster and just ask him, where can I find this guy?
Begins giving you instructions on how to get to the stewards. The stewards itself is located on the northern road, up past the central market. It's a couple minutes walk from here. Do you have anything you're doing before heading out towards the stewards?
No, I think I'm gonna grab my bag and flick maybe Marl's last little piece of copper and head out.
He looks at your copper and he just gives you this look that's very clear. Oh, you'll pay the rest of your tab when you get back.
I'll head out a little faster.
You turn around with this bag and this backpack, which still has the strange, these kind of strange stains of unknown origin on it, and you begin stepping out. Go back to the rest of you guys here. A female guard, a tiefling woman, has begun to let you in to the central courtyard around the Lord of Coppersbeck's home.
Respectful, slight nod.
Just give me a quick charisma check.
No. 16?
16. There's kind of this woman has had a rough morning, and just someone seeing a guard and being decent just kind of gives you a kind of smirk and opens the gate for you.
Stop flirting with all the guards. Every challenge.
Are you subtle, Elilia?
Never in my entire life.
Never. So
You just hear the woman under her breath.
I'm treating people with respect.
If I didn't embarrass you everywhere we went, well, I don't have to finish that.
I have thicker skin than that.
Honestly, she sounds like she's been embarrassing you for a while.
We've been traveling together. We're on a bit of a journey.
She's kind of leading you into the courtyard. You can see that the two of you are waiting outside of the steward's home. He recently came by, said hello, and stepped in to grab some materials before coming out to greet you. But as the two of you are heading closer towards there, this woman kind of looks over. How said you've been traveling for a while. Where are you all coming from? I can't place your accent.
We come from the Kingdom of Eltz. We are traveling quite a
It's a
lot.
fair ways north.
Yes, it's important to not stay in one place for your entire life and to get to see new things, experience new cultures, and
See very normal sized towns. And kingdoms.
forgive her.
You'll keep this one in line?
We're currently learning about the world.
Excellent. Now the steward is Johann is a kind man, and he's desperate to please our village lord.
Are you suggesting I speak, or...
Oh, you do as you will.
Okay.
Either my job will be easy because I'll have a happy boss, or I'll have an entertaining day.
If nothing, I bring entertainment.
If you need me, my name is Holdo, and I typically work the gate up here. Holdo? Yeah, we're keeping that tradition.
Yeah. Thank you.
Stepping up from behind.
As we...
Yes.
I will actually whisper this one time. Is it worse that she's flirting back?
This is not flirting, this is polite conversation.
No, it was flirting.
I was right. I'm often right. Don't discount me.
I am not the bard. I'm not a bard!
Oh gosh. Wait. Sometimes I'll take these asides and talk to the people who are new to Dungeons and Dragons when we introduce a complicated concept to the game. And sometimes I'll make an aside to speak to the people who are inundated with Dungeons and Dragons. And I ran a campaign from levels 1 to 20 with a full non-multi-classed bard.
so
The
good.
things I've seen 22 charisma do.
Yeah. Rolling a 40, so fun.
Functionally immortal.
Gross. While the pair of you are waiting here, you do see a pair of young women are stepping up closer to you. The steward inside, you can he's been gone for about a minute or two, just gathering up materials, kind of left you waiting here.
Gwynwyn immediately approaches. 'Cause she's friendly.
Before then,
Hey.
do you not smell that?
No, I don't have your nose.
Oh.
Hey, don't be rude.
They weren't supposed to hear that.
He didn't want them to hear it. Quieter.
I'm so offended.
Hi, I'm Gwynwyn.
Hello. It's me, Callister. Pleased to make your acquaintance.
Nice to meet you.
And this is Lilia Arendral.
Just L. Just forget the last name. It's fine.
Nice to meet you, Elle. Is Meanie. I'm Gwen. This is Silas. Please ignore him sometimes. He's a little dumb sometimes.
Nice to meet you, Ismini and LL. LL.
That's right. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wonderful.
Nice to meet you.
Great.
Are you, well, new in town or
We
from
just got.
here?
No, we just came in. We saw the posters around, and we're honestly really broke right now. So.
Weird.
Bro,
Yes, we.
I'm behaving.
You're on a job. We've talked about this.
Yeah. 33K gold copper.
Copper. Yes.
That's a lot of money.
Yes. See, I like potions and I like experiments, and those are expensive. So, need as much money as possible.
You seem like you.
Wait, time out.
Forgive me if this is rude, but you seem like you've been near a fire
Oh,
recently.
it's fine. No,
Do you
don't
need
worry. Nothing
rest-
got. No,
Okay.
I'm good. Nothing
If
caught on
you-
fire.
If you have to clarify by saying, I don't mean to be rude, you are in fact being rude.
Yes, like
The
I didn't
woman
need
is
to be
covered
rude
in
when I
soot.
commented on their smell.
But you don't.
No, you
but
don't call
but,
them that.
But I'm gonna give a small
Bad.
lesson for the class here today.
Oh, wait. Ismini is great at social skills.
I was just going to say that if you have to clarify your statement with I'm not going to be rude, I don't want to be rude, I don't mean to. You do. That would be all. Go ahead.
As the introductions commence between the four of you, off in the distance, you hear Holdo once more, she's behind the gate, so she's still in the courtyard looking out towards that street you were on. All right, no begging. If you wish to beg, please, the central market is that way. You are allowed to.
Came for the job offer.
She stops and looks up and down.
I think your girlfriend is rude.
I think for once you're not the worst smelling one in the room.
Doesn't sound good.
The orange dye, guys. What do you think it was?
Oh, okay, never mind.
It's every time.
No.
It's definitely a problem die. She looks over. All right. Interesting day after all. She opens up the gate. All right. Go speak with the steward and no funny business.
Which direction is that?
She points over. Do you see where the elephant man is? With the hammer the size of your torso?
Oh, you can get more rude. Thank you. Walk away.
I like that guy. He seems nice.
I'm good with you now.
Do not insult him.
Which one?
Even if he looks poor, you don't insult people.
Okay,
Are
but-
you
Wait.
as you approach? Are you planning on like getting a normal conversation distance, or are you going to try to like? Are you standoffish? How are you approaching?
Or
These
It's
guys?
fine.
Yeah.
We're poor.
I'm just walking up and be like, you guys here for the thing?
Yeah, we are.
Oh, thank God.
Hi, I'm Gwynwyn. What's your name?
You can just call me Thorns.
Nice to meet you, Thorn.
Is that your first name?
pleasure to meet you, Thorn.
Or middle?
Just a name.
Pleasure to meet you, Thorn.
Pleasure.
Pleasure to meet you, Thorn.
I'm very nice.
No, finish the sentence.
Pleasure
Hey,
to
big
meet
guy,
you.
what's her
I'm
name?
L.
Thank you.
She's kind of
I
dumb.
see you have another
Elle.
one.
She smells
I
bad.
know.
I align with that.
I'm
That's
very smart.
you haven't been to school either? I get you.
I've been to so much school.
She's compensating for something.
Let's not
I get it.
for
The
today.
front
Do you like
door
to
to the
have a
steward's
discussion?
home opens. Oh, what? There are more of you now. Have you all come in response to my summons?
We have.
You must be Steward.
Stupendous. I trust that you all are capable individuals then?
Yes.
Yeah.
You're
Unfortunately.
John Ditch.
It's Johann Digit.
Also wrong.
Does anyone speak for either of these two?
He's holding it.
Excellent. Well, we've had some. Actually, perhaps it would be better to do this inside, away from any prying ears. Please, come.
Of course.
Sure.
As he beckons you in, the light smell of pumpkin and cinnamon fills the air. This home is mostly, it appears to be one central room. The steward's home is fine. It's filled with, you see on one side of the room, actual silverware pieces, well maintained and well made. A door presumably leading to his bedroom. But here in the center there is a hearth that appears to have some sort of there's water that has been recently boiled, and next to it a small collection of these colored liquids that have been and a tea kettle, so presumably some sort of drink to have here. But there's a series of chairs here and a table, which he quickly has a seat. Would anyone care for a drink? I've been experimenting with something.
Right here.
Ooh, experiments? Yes.
Right here.
Excellent.
I take my tea with 1 sugar. Please.
I could get you tea. Yes,
Is this not
I would be
tea?
able.
Is tea not readily available? I apologize for my
I have been
rudeness.
experimenting.
Oh.
Mr. Ditch, I don't want tea. Is there?
No, so we have, as you're aware, we have.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. I'll stop.
It's okay. It's
Oh,
okay.
madam, you've bid me no offense.
Can you just pull out your jug?
It's so much easier. At
A bit of-
all.
as
You're gonna pull out your
as,
jugs?
as the this bit of a kerfuffle continues, he's happy to pour you what is.
Oh man.
It's strange. It almost tastes like coffee, with this sweet. We're at the end of summer here.
Non-alcoholic?
There's a very minor amount of alcohol. It's probably the least
Okay.
alcoholic coffee you've ever tasted.
I didn't know they could make non.
I didn't know.
Well, you can't fully. You can't fully remove.
Yeah.
So
Oh, yeah.
all
Of course.
coffee's alcoholic. Still.
Yes.
Still.
Oh, that's been canon for 3 years.
It's been-
To clarify for the viewers.
Right, for us-
we all know. that
We all know
coffee-
that coffee contains alcohol, and there is no such thing as not alcoholic coffee, right?
He's
Are we
working
still
on
there?
it.
In the
man is-
canon.
this,
trying?
This might be an advancement in culinary alchemy.
Why would you take the alcohol?
Win-Win 100% wants the recipe
I
because she wants to
heard
experiment
someone
with this
order
more.
an Irish coffee called the Irish, but they just gave them
Perchance,
twice the Irish.
would we be able to discuss the issues that?
The parchment, yes.
Oh yes, for the.
Sorry, yes. Experiments
I
later.
have a question. Do you offer the offer?
Yeah. There's something wrong with her.
Yeah.
Oh, we could.
Is that rude?
No,
See, it's not rude.
I had hoped to
Hear us?
draw
Make the
some.
number look bigger. Excellent marketing.
It appears
That's
that
my
you have
mistake.
you've
Excellent
seen through my
marketing.
deception
Yes.
instantly, and
Wonderful. Yeah,
quite a sharp wit on this one.
I have a lot of schooling.
I stand corrected.
But he
Nice.
he kind of turns to the lot of you, drinks in hand. Well, as appears that some of you know, my name is Johann Ditch. I am the steward of Coppersbeck, and we are experiencing a minor crisis. The noble, the kind and fair and just nobleman in charge of our humble village, he spends most of his year here, watching over the city and making sure that our people are safe and well fed. But during summers, he does enjoy summering in Eltz. Eltz being the capital of the kingdom, this massive metropolis. And well, with the summer's end a few weeks ago, he's soon to arrive. Typically, he would arrive just before the fall equinox. We have a festival here, the Night of Light. If any of you worship the Nine, as we do, you would be familiar with Lathander's Light and its celebrations. Bit of an odd exchange goes between you. The steward fully does not get this. This man is frazzled. You see that where there's still powder, there's still brushing on the front of his hair. There's a bit sticking out in the back where you see what looks to be, from what was like this beautiful brown on top, is a tuft of white sneaking out from the underside of his hairpiece. two matters I believe you can assist me with. First of all, understand that what I'm going to ask you may involve a bit of violence. Understand that it is particularly in subduing those who are attempting to harm my little village, and not to slay the interlopers, but instead bring them here. We wish to arrest these individuals. I don't want any unneeded bloodshed.
Killing? Question mark.
He called it a little village, mind you.
Of course.
So,
We're
Let's not go with them.
a bit over a week's travel from Eltz, and, well, there are structures in Eltz that contain more people than this village does.
So you would call it a small city, even.
Well, you could. I would suppose we're more than a thorp or a hamlet, but I think a village would be appropriate. A small village would not offend me.
See,
Excellent.
the issue here is that we've been practicing lately appropriate
Decorum.
decorum is a great word for this. I
A
would say-
delightful and worthwhile endeavor.
Right.
is
We
not
are
homeschooling.
we are practicing
This-
speaking to other people in general.
Are you practicing decorum? Are you studying to serve on be in the service of a lord or lady?
Place settings aside,
Something
where's
like that.
this town you talking about that we need to help capture
Right.
these?
Well,
people?
yeah,
Not
what's the
kill
matter
them?
at
we're not
hand?
killing
Past
them,
decorum
no, only
and-
capturing.
What? There are no other. There are no other issues with other towns. I just need you to handle things that are here. Issues elsewhere, if there were any, would be, of course, handled by our guard, which are well staffed and all present. Is this in character, out of character hand raise?
Out of character. This man is a liar.
I was gonna say, can I do an
Yeah, I was
insight
just
check?
saying. I feel like it's an insult.
Yes. If you'd like to make an insight check, absolutely.
May I, of pointing out that he
Yes,
is a
of
liar?
course you may.
Thank you.
17.
14.
14. And if you all don't mind, because we've been doing a little bit of explaining Dungeons and Dragons, for those of you not in the know, sometimes we have to use dice to determine how things go when it's not just talking. In this case, they're trying to accomplish a goal, determining if I'm telling the truth or not. You guys let me know. I let them know what type of skill check we use, and we're good to go. They add the appropriate modifiers, and we see who wins. In this case, it's Meanie.
Oh no.
This man's sweating through his wig.
Okay.
He might be all pumpkin spice and pomp, but things are not all good in Coppersbeck.
I do like the pumpkin spice and pomp. I'm using that.
He just begins, as you asked, letting you know a little bit more about the issues that are ailing his town. We have two issues, but both should point you in the same direction. My men are at task at the moment, and so I required a bit of outside help. We have a shepherd. They are druidic defenders of our natural environments. The shepherd has been very kind for a number of years, and during this attempt, I had hired him to perform a few tasks for me. Unfortunately, it appears he's decided to pocket the money and hide away in his hut within the forest. Well, Lord Album is a fan of the hunt because he summers in Eltz. He's not always able to go on the hunt. As such, I requisitioned that Quill, our shepherd, go out and procure a large stag to be mounted in the Lord's Hall. Also, for the Night of Light, I had requested him procure some large, there's a special sort of pine cone we gather from the forest, and had he brought them back, we would be able to use them at the festival in a few days' time. The children like to carve and paint them, and make them look into like little wooden creatures. It's adorable.
That sounds so cute.
Can I?
I'm so sorry. I must ask something. No, I mustn't. Yes, Miss Elilie.
Can I roll a history check? I believe, like,
You let me know what you're trying to do.
Yeah. My understanding, or Elle's understanding, is that shepherds are like a pretty solidly good organization. Is something like a shepherd pocketing money and not doing a job atypical?
Give me, so this would actually be a history check.
Okay. I mean, shepherds are pretty widely known.
Yes, the DC is not terribly high, though your interactions with shepherds have mostly been through story and less through direct interaction.
Whew, that's a 10.
That's a 10. What I can tell you with the shepherds is this. Not all shepherds are druids, so not everyone has the same sort of abilities or powers. But the shepherds are a group of individuals who work with... Specifically, they work to protect the wilds, but also to protect protect civilization from the wild, to maintain the border between and ensure that both can exist peacefully as the gods decreed. There are good shepherds and there are bad shepherds. Generally speaking, they're focused on what their task is. So the question, would they do something, is more, is it aligned with the core tenets of the shepherds? And also, any organization can have bad people in it.
Cool. Interesting. It is weird.
It's weird.
It's weird.
Now that should ideally be fine. Quill is one man, and well, there's 5 of you. I'm certain you can persuade him to bring back my money. Or the stag. I would prefer the stag and the pine cones, to be fair. However, are any of you familiar with an alchemical solution known by the name of wolfswill?
Can I make a check on that?
I think the 2 of us would be the closest.
So,
Maybe.
looking at the 2 of you, if you're curious, so when it comes to do I know things, if you believe your character has a chance of knowing things, you can ask for that, absolutely. Looks like the 3 of you are curious. This is actually going to be, there are 2 checks you're allowed to make from this.
Okay.
You may either make an alchemist, an alchemist check, an herbalism kit check, or just an int check. It's not nature or arcana.
Alchemist check, because I have
Alchemist
proficiency
tools.
in an alchemist, so it'd just be
Please.
int check
12.
plus proficiency bonus.
It's
Please
int plus
confirm.
proficiency. Yes, ma'am.
Yes. 18.
23. I needed you to
What is that on the
confirm.
die?
A 19 on the die.
19 on the die.
Yeah.
Nice.
In check
12.
12.
Yeah.
Thor
I've
wins.
12.
Thank
You know
you
what
for
this
these.
is. As, this is not an uncommon ingredient. Wolf's Will is a form of salve. It isn't as magical as, say, a healing potion.
Wolf's quill.
Wolf Swill.
Wolf
so
swill.
some people argue that it's the will of the wolf, and some people, because they've tasted it, call it Wolf Swill.
Okay, cool.
It's a little play on words.
Bottom
It
of the
is-
coffee cup.
It's pretty gross.
Yeah.
It is a sort of both ointment and also something you can consume that is used to treat infections and heal minor wounds. Unlike a potion, this isn't something you could down in combat. You'd have to play this, and it takes a while to take effect.
So to clarify,
It's a healing item.
right, the best possible goal throughout all of this, arrest Quill the shepherd. Bring in some magical pine cones.
I think they might be normal.
Well, that was the first of his 2 issues.
Right. That's number
The
1.
pine cone stag.
Quill
Pine
was
cones,
paid
stag.
money to get
Pine cones.
to get pine cones and a
Right.
stag, and
Very cool.
ran off with a huge bundle of silver and gold.
Great.
Silver and gold. We produce a considerable amount of wolf's will for the Eltzian army. It is our primary export, in fact. There has been an issue with the most recent several batches, and I do believe that some of our local ne'er-do-wells are involved. I don't know exactly what they're doing. I actually advise you go and speak with our team at the warehouse to determine what is causing it, but the last few batches have been inert. Their property is not working. I'm uncertain if it's happening at the warehouse or somewhere along the production line, but... may I speak plainly?
Yes.
Of course.
If Lord Album gets here and the line is down, my head may roll.
That would be most unfortunate. And we do not.
I worked very hard to
Right.
obtain this job, and I would most like to keep it.
Right.
Yes, I understand that one completely.
We don't want to see anything of the sort happen. We will make sure to honor your requests and at least get you the information you desire.
Uh-huh.
My companion would very much like to see you okay.
You kind of give a nod over towards L, and he looks just relieved. Oh, good. Please tell me you won't all... Please, I hope you'll understand. I will not pay you until you've completed at least one of these tasks. I have been robbed in the past few days. The wounds are fresh.
So, about that compensation. Let's say we get this done expeditiously.
Is that a word?
What kind of
SAT
bonus would you
word.
have?
Yes, yes it is.
He looks at you, a bit surprised at your choice of words. Your diction.
I'll give him a little wink.
Surprising. Oh my. This is the most flirting we've had in a session 1 yet, guys. He kind of looks at you a bit surprised, but once you've gotten a little bit more, talking a little bit more like him, I believe, theoretically. Oh, just open the door. You're fine. Come on back in.
It's okay.
She's fine. You can let her in. Pets. He looks back to you. I suppose then a bonus would be involved. Especially if the work were to be done well and, again, without any unnecessary bloodshed.
Correct. Yes. Of
You
course.
have to crack. If you have to crack some heads together, well, the Ladrone boys deserve it. I won't complain about it.
We will do our best to mitigate any damage to persons or town.
Yes.
So,
I
Mitigate?
consider the town.
The town.
let's talk
It
numbers.
means
What
limit.
kind of bonus are we
I know what it
talking
means.
about?
As he
Oh, I was
begins,
like, you seem really smart, so
Because, you know, fire sometimes happens. I
you
can't
do
always
have to
control with
mitigate
the fire.
Yes.
the two of you he starts going over some of the numbers here. 3,000 copper pieces, as we're,
Yes, basically.
or 10 copper to a silver and 10 silver to a gold. It's not a huge payout, but you get the general sense that there's going to be a couple shiny yellow coins in your purse if you do this job quickly and well.
So you are giving it in gold.
Elle, you figured that out
Yes.
earlier.
I know. I'm just reiterating
Right?
to make sure.
Yes.
Gold is
As he continues to explain and let you know a little bit more, he gives you instructions towards where the warehouse is. There's a small path that leads through the woods to the other section here. Unless you want to take the long path and go all the way around, which is a little bit longer. There's a small section of woods you can pass through on a trail to get to the primary workshop where they produce wolfswill. He lets you know that where you will be going to get there, there is a man by the name of Brian Scuffs. He is the one in charge of the warehouse. In addition, he lets you know... Well, I would prefer you not repeat this to them directly, but instead inquire politely and subtly. I believe that the Ladrone boys are the ones to blame. I don't know how they're doing it, but the two of them, Bugsy and Frank, well, they've been trouble. They've been a thorn in my side for years. I've not so much been able to catch them, their hands in the cookie jar, as it were, but I am certain they're a foul lot, just like their father. And well, people talk. There are plenty of rumors explaining what they've done. So whichever way you decide to go, or, well, you're the ones who've brought the brave hearts. Please. Is there anything else you could get from me?
I just want to make like slight small talk, like that. This is not just a transaction.
Like schmoozing?
Like yeah. So
Okay.
So
Can I-
Oh,
Johan,
schmooze me.
Johan, how long have you been doing this job?
You seem very good at your
It
job.
seems like such a
Pulls out like a second handkerchief and begins dabbing off the
so
sweat.
much work, Johan.
I mean, this trouble. I mean, I'm sure it must have been.
Did you
very
say you wanted
hard.
to assist?
Yes. I know,
Okay,
I'll
so
bring help action.
using help on her.
Sorry, it's coming out again. Art is coming up to the surface.
One great thing about this is we don't act. So at the beginning of the campaign, faces don't exist yet, and they don't have to exist ever in a party.
Not a
go ahead and
good
make-
Our
face.
wizard is
I'm
the
actually
face.
going to ask for you to make me a persuasion check, and this is with advantage as you are receiving help.
Oh
as
no.
Your ward? Companion.
Companion.
We're friends.
Companion.
Companion.
I missed my plus 16.
Ooh.
19.
Did you just get 2 nights in a row?
I got an 18 on the die.
And an 8 on the other.
Plus
Those
1.
are the dice you got her, right?
Yes, you got me
Nice.
such good dice.
Purple dice.
I keep showing.
Was this a plan?
We not replaced. We have begun the fight against the orange die. This is the fight. It begins here.
One die to rule them all.
Oh.
I hate that die.
We all
I
hate
think
that
Connor
die.
5 sessions
I don't
before
know.
he shows up
I haven't
somehow
had
with an
the issue with
identical
it.
orange
No,
die.
we hate that die.
Swapped
I've
it
never
out.
had
Fuck
that.
that.
Okay.
Lick it, it's
I
candy.
just only think Connor could do it.
As you're schmoozing here, with that high of a roll, I'm curious. You can see that this man's general demeanor is improving. He shares a bit about his life, that he's been working in the town. This man has been doing this job for the past 5 or 6 years, excuse me. And he's happy. He's a content individual where he is, though he does get very stressed at the end of summer when his lord returns.
I think both of us have something we're trying to do here with that whole aided action. Purely my thing is to try to impress upon him a level of professionalism that maybe he won't question everything that we've done. That's my goal. Now, I know Elle has goals as well, so I'll let Elle speak to those.
So I think as the conversation is flowing, I'm like, yeah, your job seems so hard. You know, we've been like, you know, we're used to Issel, we're used to like where we grew up, and we've been traveling for the first time, sleeping on the ground for weeks and weeks. So we're so thankful for the job because, you know, we might be able to afford a bed finally.
You thought she was rich. She's not
Hey,
rich.
there's Rex's PR.
Yeah, no, that's not right.
Looking at her fucking Gucci.
All
Give me
designer.
that.
Looking at my shirt
Like,
like,
as you're talking about, like, we've been sleeping
Out of
on the
curiosity,
ground, just reaching
Do
in.
you have special editions of books in your bag? Are your books really, really fancy versions of
mean-
books?
Yes, my Dusk Volume 9 is signed by the author, but anyone could get that if they were able to pay the special pre-order.
Do you know
So-
Dusk came out 50 years ago?
It's still being written by that.
Yeah.
The author lives in Eltz.
Don't worry, I'm gonna get Volume 10 when we get to Eltz.
You know, again, it's been written for over.
I'm
50
working my
years.
way through the series.
Dusk. Can I get a really quick history check from you,
I don't-
Elle,
I
with
would like
advantage?
these
And while you do, just as a reminder,
oh,
I can.
bedtime stories. Who doesn't like bedtime stories?
Right.
History? That would be a 21.
excellent. We're gonna get back to that real quick. Just to verify, I know people use their full name when introducing themselves to the party. Was that done with the steward?
I used my full name with the steward.
Okay.
I used my full name.
Specifically, Ismini Callister arrived in town. Really?
Yeah.
Really? Excuse me, sir.
She acts like she's important.
Dusk,
She is important.
as Victoria was explaining, 'cause I'm assuming that was mostly out of character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Victoria was explaining, Dusk has been written for many decades and is written under. It is written by an author from Eltz. However, people don't actually know who writes this. And some people speculate, oh no.
Oh no. We have a guest.
You're allowed to pick her up and introduce her.
This is Jazz.
Librarian.
She's the actually she's the BBEG, for sure.
For sure, that's the. Oh no.
She is baby.
We're distracted. One thing. This is what Dungeons and Dragons is. I will say there's going to be pets and learning and mistakes.
Does that mean we can bring our pets?
There's
Your
a
apartment would be
dog and a
overrun.
cat in this room already.
Yeah, we've got 2
You know
so
what?
far.
German Shepherd, 2 more dogs, Gunner.
Anybody have like a pig?
I can acquire one.
I have
Brentius.
That took me
Circle
1
this
second.
right back to
Excellent.
Dungeons and Dragons.
But Dusk, though people don't know if it's one or multiple people who've been writing Dusk, it was actually written in Eltz.
I prescribe to the conspiracy theory that it's written by 4 different people, only 3 of which live in Eltz. Another person who writes it remotely and then brings it in
Did she
once
say
a month.
prescribe?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think she had many friends growing up.
Sometimes we say the wrong words, Jake.
All of you.
Jake, they were.
I will defend my maiden.
You watch as the steward kind of leans back and is sipping his slightly alcoholic pumpkin spice latte.
Please excuse him. He's kind
That's what he made. He invented it.
Right, we're sitting here sniffing pumpkin spice latte, and I don't have one.
Okay, but did he pick up at all on the please give us a place to stay for free?
He's happy to actually point you in the direction of a very inexpensive inn known as the Fickle Ferret.
I was gonna ask.
Alternatively, if you're very broke,
Hey,
he
guys.
does mention
Got a room there.
if you're desperate, there is another place, and I know they do have stalls for rent for travelers. But that's where the Ladrone boys are.
I think we can afford the Fickle.
Fickle Fare is
Very
great.
nice.
Great bar food.
Well, if you do want to investigate
Okay.
there,
Do they have fried
that
pickles?
place is known as Mara's.
They got fried stuff.
They have pork belly.
So if you're very
Fried stuff.
desperate, you go to Mara's.
Yes.
How desperate?
Well,
No.
if you can,
No.
if you can get past the
no, I'm
smell
not sitting.
and the ichor, and I suppose Mara, a few coppers would rent you a stall.
A stall.
Stall. Yeah.
Listen,
Thank you for letting us know about it. If we get to that point, we will definitely explore other avenues.
listen. I'm a good friend of Meryl at the bar at
Okay.
the
Marl.
Meryl.
Okay,
That's a
fair.
Fickle Ferret.
Wait, it's fair when he's drunk, right?
Please tell us more.
Oh yeah,
Please.
He's a great
I'm
guy.
curious. That is
I
Mara
can
and
get you a good
Marl
deal.
are the.
We're
the-
great.
Right.
We're like this.
I would like to speak to you more about that opportunity at a later date. Right now, I think that we should focus on getting payment for our services.
I vote go to the quill guy.
I've already worked
take
that
care
out.
Of that.
But we gotta do it
Right?
first.
No,
Yeah.
Yes. I think that we've talked about getting paid. Now we do the job to get paid, so that we get paid. Right?
Oh, okay.
Are
We're
we
going
on
around
the same page
rock
here?
about it, yeah.
Right. Yes.
I'm
So
2 pages
Quill,
ahead of you. You
where
gotta
is
keep up.
he?
Okay.
Necessarily.
Great.
Quill-
Wonderful.
Well,
I love it.
I suppose you've stumbled upon a bit of my issue here.
You don't know.
Quill's home is within the woods, just south of town, same direction towards the warehouse. But he doesn't exactly live on the trail. I am led to understand that he has an actual home, but he has been cagey about precisely where that is. Typically, we actually meet with Quill by lighting a torch just at the edge of the trail, and Quill has not come.
Is there any other method of communication with Quill at all? Anything other than lighting torches at all?
No, ma'am, I apologize. Lord Album travels with his personal smith and court mage, so unfortunately we don't have access to any more arcane or
I meant
weave
more
goods.
of like, or do riders go out to the general location and look for signs of...
We are having an issue allocating guards at the moment.
Okay.
Never mind.
No, it's okay. We will go and take care of this. We will come
Is
back
there
to you.
Marker for where you put the torches, just so we have a place.
Sure,
to
he's
sort
happy to kind of
Like a
gesture towards the
guide,
way.
yeah. Like a
there's
direction.
a very clear, on the southern side of town, there's a trail that leads to the other half of town
Great.
that passes through a small section of the wood. There is an actual, there's essentially a post that is lit to call upon the shepherd.
So
Oh, this is a fun one.
I vote we go to
Table
Quill
still.
first
Right?
Let's go
and
to Quill.
get the pine cones and
Stack.
stag. Yes.
Stack cones.
Right. No.
There's two
Stack
separate
and
things.
Pine cones, 2 things.
There
I
is...
just made it shorter.
Is your friend always like
I'm
this?
the brains of the group. He's the strong arms, though.
I
so
am
you
not
know.
unintelligent. I was just trying to.
You asked if I had ever
abbreviate
been to
speed it
school.
up.
No, that was...
Asked if I went
That
to
was...
Very-
That was Thorn.
Oh,
Thorn
fine. I'll
actually-
be
Utilitarian.
Thorn thought that you
Efficient,
had been
even.
Like,
Oh my
I
god,
got it.
can you write down the recipe
That's
and
so
all the
rude.
experimentation
Have
you've
you been
done
to
with
formal school?
your pumpkin
I thought
spice
you
latte?
taught you.
Because, you know,
Yeah,
I
but,
really
like,
I like
really
experimenting
smart.
with things.
I
and
have
I'd love
I
to
have
play
been working
around.
on this recipe for the past for quite some time, and to give away the formula would be, well, we could discuss perhaps an alternative form of payment if you'd be willing to accept that.
So, I'll think about it. We'll come back to that.
He gives you a little bit of a bow with his head.
I'm always tempted to just buy things.
Right. Let's
I
not.
won't.
Let's
I
curb.
won't.
Let's curb that impulse. great. Thank you.
Hi.
Hi.
Gwynwyn.
Gwynwyn, yes.
Silas. Thorn with no other names. Would you like to go with us to go find this quill person?
I think we should all travel together. Yeah.
Not maim them?
It would be a great idea. Now,
I think 5 of us
generally
could take a shepherd.
speaking- Right, generally speaking, what can I expect from you? Professionalism, we're not supposed to really. We can harm. Okay, can we move further away before I start this conversation?
Sure. As you begin to head
Thank
out,
you.
you're under no
Wait,
obligation.
wait,
This
down
guy
our
is giving you a
pumpkin spice.
timeline of 4 days
Right.
to
Okay,
handle
no.
this.
Right, we're not going
He
to.
wants so in at the on the 4th day, some point during on the 5th day, at some point then is when he expects the Lord to be back, and that evening is the festival.
Right.
Love festivals.
Our general idea is that we are supposed to get information and bring things back, not injure somebody to the point of funeral.
Yes, that's what he said.
Right.
Yeah, don't kill.
Are we all on the same page there? Number 1, no killing.
Yeah. That sounds fair.
Never
it
killed
hard
anyone
for you to
before.
not
I don't know if I got a taste for it yet, but we'll find out.
Let's not find out. Let's in fact assume that you
mean,
don't.
it-
Okay?
Fair enough.
Can I ask, what is everyone's passive perception? Not you, Laurentius.
14.
11.
14.
11. Crowd.
There is, you notice on his backpack and on his clothes themselves, a sort of like your clothes themselves they're mostly browns. You have browns and grays,
Yeah.
simple stuff you can beat up and get dirty.
Yeah.
But there is this sort of almost pale green set of stains and splotches along his back and backpack that are virulent in color. A gross and unnatural seeming quality.
I don't
He is
like
filthy.
I don't like this, but I'm not going to do anything about it.
Great.
What does it smell like?
You don't know. You're not paying attention.
Fair enough.
He was a 14.
Your
week.
passive perception for smells is quite high. Fortunately, it has been a while, and you've been rained on at least. You may stink. You don't stink like it.
Yeah, it's just BO.
It's better than theirs.
I packed you. I don't know what you're talking about.
aloud.
As you
I am clean, sir. I vote. I'm ready to go. You seem all ready to go.
I think we're
Are
ready.
some of you magic?
I'm kind of magic.
Kind of magic? Magic?
It's a
No.
little offensive.
No.
Holdo nods as you leave the courtyard.
Hi.
Hello. Hey.
Are you magic?
What?
Are you magic?
I got tricks.
So he's magic, but secret about it. I will
Sure.
start.
So magic?
Yeah. I start marching
Should we-
off in the appropriate direction.
Let's actually really quickly just talk about and I apologize for this, I should have done this previously. Let's talk a little about what we talked a little bit about what Silas is wearing, and we alluded to the fact that you've got quite a large hammer on your back. Let's talk about, like, equipment-wise, what would people see on a first glance? They don't know the contents of your backpack, but what do you wear? Let's start over with you, Gwynwyn. What are you wearing?
Lots of potions. There's lots of glass bottles that are brightly colored all over Gwynwyn. And she has a backpack as well. And you can kind of see some of the glassware sticking out from it.
Do you worry about getting injured when you fall?
Not all these are healing potions. I'm just gonna say some of them are acid, some of them are poison, some of them are experiments that they're not
I
working.
will never trip you. This is my word.
She'll trip herself.
I love flat tires, so watch out.
I will not trip
Well, that-
myself. I am not clumsy.
That tire exists. Collaborative storytelling means sometimes I get things from them.
Cannon.
So Gwynwyn, you see, is this? She's wearing a bit of armor above this sort of pretty well fit attire below that's got this sort of green hue, and where she wears this. What kind of armor are you wearing on the top?
I think scale mail.
Scale mail, where you see that there's actual armor placed above the this green sort of suit above. You see that past where she's got these long pants underneath her splint mail, but near where her boots meet the remnants of those pants, you see the same green-colored outfit. It is a jumpsuit from your lab.
Yes.
Well, kind of looking her over, does she notice anything? Would anybody notice anything interesting about your boots?
They are healed. There's like 2 inches on them.
Good for you.
Because Gwynwyn is not short. She insists she is not short. She is 4'2". She insists on this fact. She never lets herself be measured without wearing her boots, however.
And Gwynwyn, I'm going to move over to your childhood friend Silas. Silas, we talked about your the sort of yellow gambeson, the hammer you have here. Do you have any other notable equipment you'd like to describe that's on your person and visible?
Less is more. Outside of that, all I've got is a small buckler. Just a tiny little thing to block out some hateful attacks.
And it is fair to say his shield is not terribly oversized for him and would completely obscure, say, Gwynwyn were she to carry it. Sort of small wall just as a reminder, I'm going to hand you this, Jake.
Oh, I forgot my mini. It's a bigger shield than I thought it would be. Look, it's small on my body, though.
It's appropriately sized. You're mobile. You are ready to go.
You just use it to completely
We
guard
did talk about you. You have, do you have any visible weapons?
I got a dagger on my hip. That's it.
He's dirty. He stinks.
I can lend
He's wearing
you
dark clothes and has a dagger.
I can lend you a prestidigitation
Are
if
you
you'd
a
like to
rogue?
clean up
Lend?
a little bit.
Lend?
The cleaning.
Lend.
The what?
Do you want to be cleaned up a little bit? You know what? If you don't,
Are we around people?
You're
No,
just
we're
walking through
walking.
the streets.
I'll
Are
look
there
down
people
at my,
watching us right now?
I'm not going to make you roll because your passive perception is high enough. I mean, yes, but primarily what they appear to be looking at is the Loxodon walking through the streets.
Okay, I'm good then.
Kind of looking at my shirt.
can I just
I guess it is a little dirty, and I'll
just
just
clean that up?
There's a bunch of grease from the sandwich this morning.
snap my
Can I
fingers
start
and
with the
cast
sandwich?
prestidigitation.
You watch
Tricks.
as he's talking, the words almost blend into his sentence as he snaps. No filigree. There's no meter to what he's saying the way when you cast spells, and just rippling over him, point by point, the ick and grime boils away.
Nice.
Look.
Now that's a fun trick.
No books.
Let's keep
I told you
moving.
tricks. Not like the street corner tricks, but you know what I mean, right?
Let's
I
keep.
had an uncle that was a rogue, so I know tricks when I see them. This is different.
Okay.
I thought it was pleasant.
I'm not saying it's not pleasant. I'm just saying he's not a rogue.
What's a rogue?
They stabbed.
Would you like to describe a bit about your
Oh.
equipment?
So Lilia has a scimitar at her hip, just a very plain looking one. And on her other hip, a book, as well as I think a bag that's pretty obviously like bulging with books.
This sort of what would be a very fine, well-made bag for traveling, formed of hard leather, good straps and metal, has been damaged almost beyond repair as you've shoved tome after tome of, interesting quality of book into your
good,
bag.
Some bad. And I think I have obviously a pretty designated pouch on my hip. And just peeking out of that is a red flower, but you barely see it. It's just sitting at the top.
Okay. And Victoria, would you like to describe for us? Now I know you're a wizard, but what equipment do you have visible?
I do have, similarly to Elle, I also have a bulging bag, and it
Big
is
library, the two of us.
book nerds.
Winwood is so excited about all the
Okay.
books.
Where they could be.
Life,
just
I have a
got
bunch of
chapter nine,
nerds in
volume
my
nine.
life. Even my fake life, there's a bunch of nerds in it.
true life story is that during work I'd walk to the library and walk back as my lunch break. So that is who I am intrinsically, is carrying too many books in a bag. I have as well a very simple dagger and a very simple, straight, cylindrical piece of wood. Just wand-like piece of wood. And pouches full of...
Handle.
Yeah, the handle, brass handle on the...
Very nice.
Yeah, brass is a cheap metal. And I do also have pouches of things that are just clippings of grass and mushrooms and little sprinklings of different types of powders all kind of together in this, not separated into compartments, just bags full of different kinds of things, like powdered random things you'd come across in the wild. So as we've been...
Yes.
Yeah, just random bits of stuff are in these pouches.
Hey, everybody needs a good goodie bag.
I have goodie bags full of different kinds of dirt.
Well, dirt is extremely important.
Right.
For spellcasting.
I do have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
Except for you.
Is there a possibility that I
Yeah.
already had a particular spell cast?
Well, so this is actually, this is a fun question. Some spells have longer durations, and this is actually something that I'm going to answer for both you and for you. Now that you've mentioned it, let's just go ahead and ask. Have you cast the spell Mage Armor today? I'm fine with either way. It lasts 8 hours.
No, that's not the spell I was asking for.
Oh my goodness. See, that's what I get for guessing.
Find familiar.
So that is, again, going to be your decision. You described earlier as having the component on your neck at the moment. So I would say no, but I would let you know, and we didn't discuss it beforehand, you have three casts worth of materials for it.
Okay.
Should have note that.
Okay. Then not yet.
Out of curiosity, are you armored up? Do you armor up in the morning?
Yeah, I would be armored up.
Okay.
Regrettably,
I'll
that's
just
the
mark it up.
only one I would have done was find familiar.
Gorgeous.
So, not yet. That's okay.
Okay.
That means I'm going to, once we get to the edge of the woods, do a very extraordinarily complicated thing.
Let's actually talk about that. Before we get to the edge of the woods, I want to kind of move us along a little bit. It's been so long since I've asked this. Connor, did you want me just a D20 real quick?
Sure. 7.
7. Excellent. As you continue moving through the city, passing down through relatively crowded streets. At this point, it's past noon. The market, what is up of it, is active, but you do still see a lot of stores are closed down, or what stalls you see, which would normally you'd expect to be brimming with goods, are paltry supplies. Some of the prices you see are a little bit more inflated than you're used to. Something seems to be wrong with the market here. You do pass by 2 interesting things of note on your way towards the forest. The first is this wooden archway made of old knotted wood. Along the archway and wrapped around, kind of as these, almost as if rings had been laden across the arch, are 9 inlaid pieces of art, each dictating the form of a various of a hooded figure, a little bit distinct. Let's see here. I can just start with you, Laurentius. You would be familiar with this as you are from the Kingdom of Eltz. The depiction here is the pantheon known as the Nine, the gods of Eltz, and are worshipped quite often as well in the Vorax Empire. The other thing of note, located just near this shrine, is what was once a beautiful oak. Ancient and mighty, its wood now grayed, almost fossilized on the outer bits. This is an echo of the desolation. This marked reminder of a tragic incident in the past of the elves of Gren. You don't have anything in particular here, but if any of you plan on stopping, just feel free to let me know. Otherwise, we'll move on towards the woods.
I
Kind of
am...
spit a little bit as I pass the wooden archway.
Does anyone catch
Holy Are you being subtle to them?
Yeah, I'm trying to I'll just kind of slow down a little bit, let them kind of walk ahead of me.
If none of you are going to actually inspect, I'm just going to let you keep going.
Right, I
as you...
wouldn't think to be
I'm going
looking
to the
out for it.
archway of... Yeah, I'm
I'm
going
going
to the oak. I'm going to the oak.
I want to go the oak as well.
I want to
Right.
do the oak.
You watch as the northerners take a stop and look at this deadened tree. as you spit at the altar of the Nine.
Full minute-long prayer at the Old Oak.
What language are you praying in?
I'm praying in Elvish for languages.
Okay.
Actually, do like calm down and pray with her and bury a few copper pieces at the base.
Yeah.
You put a small offering here to the dead god Corellon. Corellon the Rathian, the creator of the elves and former lord of their pantheon.
I don't have any copper pieces.
You're fine.
Can I borrow some?
You can borrow some copper from me.
Oh, you mean you have money? I was like, gonna say your sheet.
Right,
I
no.
have plenty of
You
money.
don't have copper.
Elle
pieces.
doesn't have
Yes.
copper.
I forgot. She's got a Gucci bag, and I was asking, do you have any pennies?
I put a silver in. I don't even think about it.
Gorgeous.
Okay.
It's fine.
I just pray for a solid minute straight to Sahedin Mumbo and just,
Praying to the consort of Corellon.
I am here. I am with you. I will serve you. This is for you. Just for a full minute straight, like I'm doing this for you. I'm doing this for you.
Unlike the gods of the Nine, it's very normal to use the names of the Seldarine, names of the
Right.
elven gods. It's
Yes.
not considered like, let's be careful, let's like invoke them when it, like the Nine, you invoke their names generally when it's very important, during holy rituals. Otherwise they each have their own title.
As a worshiper specifically of the Elven Pantheon, I'm speaking to her as
Gwynwyn,
Sahedin Mumbo.
what's your familiarity with what's going on? Is this all new to you?
Pretty new. Gwynwyn really just wants to inspect this tree.
What are you trying to learn about it? What happened to it, or
Yeah, she was really curious about why there's this ancient dead tree.
give me? So I'm actually going to ask for a nature check on this, just your understanding of plants and what caused this.
22.
Nice.
You would be aware of this, though there's not really much of an elven population in Anton's Rest. A bit over 40 years ago, there was a conflict known as the Blue King's War. It was the second of that sort of conflict. Unfortunately, the aforementioned Blue King was this elven tyrant who used powerful magics to bind and kill the god of the elves, Corellon. When this was done, nearly a quarter of elvenkind perished in an instant. And the House of Summer, so most elves attribute themselves to one of the four seasons. The House of Summer was nearly entirely wiped out. Most people just assume is gone, effectively. And people debate why some plants died. Some say it was an honor. Some say that the same magics that killed Corellon did it. And others just say that the world remembers the life that Corellon used to bring to it. But it's very clearly this is a religious site that has been this way for decades. You being in your early 60s, is that
Yes.
correct? Early 60s, you were only in your 20s. You were a child when that happened, excuse me. Okay. We continue moving through. Are we okay? Continuing moving through the cities?
Yeah. After a full 60 seconds.
Yes. You take your prayer, and proceed to the edge of the northern quarter of Coppersbeck. There, you see that same torch is still lit, waiting for Quill. There's no one here waiting. You see that the path itself doesn't let you instantly see towards where the other side is. You probably, looking earlier where you had seen sort of the overview of the village, it's probably a fair ways to get through if you're heading towards the warehouse. Otherwise, if you want to just head into the woods, you don't have much of a general direction.
I apologize that I'm not ready to head into the woods yet.
Oh.
I am going to reach for my water skin, which may not be fully full.
You
at
didn't have a
this
full
point.
water skin. There was a rain this morning.
Is it going to be full? Because I'm still willing to pour out my water skin at the base of a recently flowering plant and make sure that the forest is ready to welcome us into it.
You watch Elle. Every time you came back to Jubilee to go back home, you saw one or both of your mothers do this exact same act. A small ritual that ensures that the wood itself, which has been bonded to you for the past 2 decades, is still accepting. You plant this, you feel for a moment just the faintest of whispers. As an Arcanist, you don't have the most intense bond here,
No, but this is something you do.
but as a servant, you have it. The forest welcomes you. And I get to ask the fun question. So we're looking for Quill's house in a
Currently.
forest with no directions. Is that the plan?
I mean,
Yeah.
Who's leading?
Before we go into the forest, I just want to take note of what time of day it was, like where the sun's at.
Probably about 1:30. You guys, you did see Silas was served a pitcher of pumpkin spice and was taking it back.
Is
Okay.
Silas
Is there
drunk?
any signs
You're a little tipsy.
to
Yeah.
go off of?
Like any
footprints,
broken
anything?
branches.
So if you'd like to try to follow a trail, we do have a way for that. But my question is going to be, who would like to? I'll let someone lead this and someone assist.
I'm fine to lead.
You'd like to lead, looking
I'll
for.
assist.
Is everyone okay with that?
Sure.
Sure.
I will
Excellent.
follow right behind.
I'll be in
The
the back.
pair of Varuxi take the lead, the vertically diverse group. I will allow, so you can either help, or if you'd like to roll separately, I would allow that as well. This is going to be a survival check, looking for tracks or broken twigs, indications that people have gone through here.
I'll help.
Can I? Yeah, never mind.
Is there anything I wanted to argue for?
Is there anything other than the torch that smells like smoke recently? Could I try and smell for smoke?
Would you like to? You're sniffing for smoke, fire, things. That would be a perception check. If you're trying to do that,
I'm gonna go for survival for right now.
okay. Because
Roll 2 dice because I'm
Dude,
helping you.
your help.
oh, I love that she gave her your d20. That's so sweet.
I hope it rolls better.
20 math.
Wow, that is a loud tray. We'll get felt for that guy.
I live in fear of him just throwing it past the dice tray.
one day I'm
He's done it
kinda like,
once.
What was your
It's
result?
embedded in my
20
brain.
math.
Math 20.
I'm just gonna bounce it into that one.
You pick up the faintest scent deeper in the woods. It doesn't smell active, but your trunk, kind of lifts up into the air, hoisted. Your trunk upwards, that's probably got to be, 10 feet up at this point?
I'm right under 8 foot, so yeah.
Massive creature. You begin stepping in, and as you begin pushing into the canopy here, it's a little bit dimmer. It's not dark. It's just gonna be dim light under most of this canopy here as we begin moving into the woods here. Like how the music got very quiet. That's fine. The party moves deeper into the wood. Faint sounds of fluttering birds, chirping bugs, and some sort of creature off in the distance. A twig breaks, and a small set of feet begins scurrying away. Something is nearby and aware that you've entered their wood. The party moving forwards. As you advance further, you're still heading towards that smell?
Yeah.
The general direction you had? It's still a ways off. I have to ask, is anyone acting in a particular way, using any form of actions, abilities, spells?
I'm gonna go ahead and at this point have spent the spell slot to cast Mage Armor.
Is it dark in here? Like, can we see?
It's dim light. So for those of you with dark vision, which is a good chunk of the party, dim light essentially it's kind of like moving up one category. So you see in dim light as if it were bright light. It's not much of a problem.
Gotcha.
Now, darkness,
Do you need
that's a different story. We'll talk about that if it
Dark.
comes up.
Cool.
Dim light.
I am a human.
You begin casting a spell, and for a moment you see what looks to be this brilliant color. What color is your magic typically?
Like, to be very specific, Payne's gray, but like a blue gray-y kind of swirling magic.
You
Not fun bright purples this time.
Not purple this time. You take your wand and you tap it against the hardened, starched neck of your dress, and you watch for a moment, building out around it, a suit of armor forms out of that blue-gray light,
Yeah.
and then instantly fades away as the spell, now active on you, is protecting you.
Okay.
Gwynwyn will pull out a red vial, and the one that she had, it's a stirring rod that was in her hair. She pulls it out of her hair, just ready to flick Firebolt in case something comes near her.
She pulls up this small pin from her hair, clicks, and you watch as it extends roughly the same length as your wand. It's metal.
Yes.
It's a thin metal piece, but you see the end of it has almost like a fork with a small cup, like a spoon. You could grab a grabbing implement, stirring implement, and perhaps the implement of an artificer.
Where did you get that?
Twitching at this moment.
Looking at all these people getting ready, I'm gonna pull out my dagger.
I also.
That's a really good decision.
Gwynwyn.
As
Yes.
my friends. Oh, yes?
I was
I
just,
also want to pull out my weapon.
I'm just over here casting a spell and asking Gwynwyn, where did you get that? My wand is made of birch and brass.
My teacher gave it to me. It was the last gift I got learning to be an alchemist from him.
That is a
I'm looking in
splendorous
the direction
gift.
of the broken twigs.
We're so distracted.
Here, I get the fun response is moving inwards through the wood, all of you preparing weapons, casting spells, looking around, what the hell is going on, drawing your daggers,
Cabin never was like.
and none of you asking about stealth.
Oh
You hear just off in the distance,
We don't have a rogue.
no! We forgot.
He's
This-
not a rogue.
you hear
He has tricks and a dagger
He
in
has
the road.
a dagger.
you hear this strange sort of chittering sound, and then a howl from the other side.
Oh.
We're gonna go on a little bit of a break, but when we come back, I'm gonna ask for these guys to roll for initiative.
Boom!
Ooh.
You know, stealth is a thing that I think we forgot about.
Eh,
So
what-
used to
what
being
stealth?
like the rogue being like, okay, I'm gonna stealth, and we all
Right.
just follow.
Well, even the helves were sneaky.
Or
We're
having
bad at it.
This is fine, right? So,
I can kill a wolf. Maim a wolf?
We weren't
We're
supposed
not
to kill.
supposed to kill anything.
Maim.
let's talk about people, but we'll get to that. Welcome to your first combat. I'm gonna need all of you to roll for initiative. Oh,
Uh-oh.
are we not heard yet?
Yeah.
Hello, I'm here in the right camera. All right. I'm gonna need all of you to roll for initiative. Those of you who've already done it, that's fine. You can keep it there.
We can't reroll.
No, unfortunately not.
No.
For our new players in the audience, and we know there's at least a few of you, initiative is what we use to determine in a fight who goes in what order. We're gonna go around the table real quick. We're gonna start with you, Laurentius.
16.
16.
16.
Ooh, Laurentius and Silas have the same initiative. What is your dexterity modifier?
1.
+1.
Not a rogue.
It's a roll-off. Go ahead and just real quickly, just roll me another d20, just flat.
I got a 1. Beat that.
19.
Okay. Thank you so much. Gwynwyn,
Nat 20, so 22.
22.
No wonder she didn't want to reroll.
No rerolling that.
Damn.
5.
5 for Ismini.
Oops.
And for Elle?
12. A perfectly average number.
Jedi mind trick? What
Yeah,
was
that was.
That's our Star Wars campaign. Totally different.
TBD.
That's a secret.
For later.
They'll hear about it later.
Yeah.
Just keep watching. It's fine. Okay.
Like and subscribe.
I'll wear that next week.
Perfect. Sorry, I just wanted to grab this real quick. We're going to start with you, Gwynwyn. Gwynwyn, you see, after hearing that howl just a moment ago, one wolf begins kind of perching up, and you see it begin bounding towards the party. Just to really quickly explain our battle map here, this is very simple. No terrain, nothing too complicated. These little black splotches I put on the battle map just represent areas of particularly dense brush. As you're moving through this battle map, you could assume anything but that is normal movement, but the dense brush here is just difficult terrain. In addition, as this terrain is roughly 3.5-ish feet tall, do be careful. Things can be lurking within the darkness. Is there a problem?
Hash it.
Oh, it's not visible on camera? Perfect. Let's go fix that real quick. Sorry, our green marker died during the break.
Much better.
Thank you so much, Jake. And when it comes to if square counts, is if any amount of mark is in it, just assume that's difficult terrain. Difficult terrain just means costs twice as much movement. We're gonna start with you, Gwynwyn. Gwynwyn, right now you only see a single wolf, but you did hear movement coming from around you. At the moment, you and Silas are leading the pack here as you marched through here, but all of you have your weapons and equipment at the ready. There's no jump on you. You knew this was coming.
Yeah, I'm gonna launch a firebolt right at the wolf I can see.
You want to take a shot at that wolf? I'm for it. All right.
9.
A 9 is unfortunately not going to do it.
And Gwynwyn's gonna take like 3 steps back and get behind Silas.
All right. Giving her a real quick movement. Oh, getting behind Silas. She can actually reach here if you'd like.
Yes.
Is that okay with you? Perfect. And Gwynwyn, is there anything else on your first turn?
No, that'll be it for her.
Okay. We're gonna move on. Gwynwyn just taking a shot at this first wolf. Unfortunately, not quite enough. You see it kind of sparks up against some of the plant matter on the forest floor, briefly lighting things up. And while there is like a little spark of fire on the forest floor, it's very lush here. It doesn't quickly burn. So when it begins to burn, you don't assume it's gonna like spread or cause any major issues.
Be a bit careful with this forest. It's old.
I mean,
You
a
saw
little
that.
firebolt kill it.
This is a fun one. I roll
Sure.
I roll very good initiatives.
Fire has never hurt a forest.
Let things grow back after there's a fire.
Occasionally.
Is Meanie?
Yeah.
Emerging from the brush just to your left
Great.
is a second wolf. Who's
Great.
going to begin moving towards you.
Wonderful.
And a third wolf coming from up here towards Silas.
Bring it.
Silas, you're quite large and terrifying, but these beasts seem like motivated for combat, like they're charging at you. We're going to go ahead and we're going to do the attack against you first, Ismini.
When do I declare shield for
So,
rules?
the shield spell, it's when you're hit by an attack
Okay.
is when that would happen. So there's not really a fail
So
state.
tell
on
me when
shield.
I'm hit and then I can decide.
Yes. So there are no allies near you, so it's just a flat roll. It's going to attempt to bite you. It reaches up trying to grab at you with its fangs. That is a hit at the moment.
A 15 or higher? Great. I'm going to take it.
Yeah, you will.
It's a good call.
Thank you.
Why is he looking at you?
Because every once in a while, I feel bad about my dice rolls, so I have him confirm them for me.
It's Connor.
Are you going to hurt
Oh,
me?
and for any of you who are local, today's damage is brought to you by Tribe Comics and Games, who are very kind folks who, a lot of the stuff we have here, we actually bought at their store. Support your local LGS, just across all hobbies, if you can.
Do that.
Yeah.
Love Tribe.
We love Tribe. Dragon's Lair's also here. There's some great stores here, and I really, really recommend shopping at your local LGS. We're not sponsored, but
We're
do
not
it anyways.
sponsored, but we love them.
But people love us.
No sponsorship
But
needed.
we're available.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
absolutely are. Like, if I need to wear one of those NASCAR suits, but it's like 12 different...
suits look cool.
They,
They
do.
do look cool.
Okay.
They
Fight
do.
about this.
We sometimes I feel like I get it. Sometimes we just are not on the same page.
NASCAR?
Short.
Yeah, she said the NASCAR's. Oh,
Leave.
That would do it.
Leave Jeff.
Okay,
Gordon.
how much
All right.
damage?
On that hit,
Yeah.
Rainbow Warrior.
Guess what I cast, though, beforehand? Was mage armor.
was mage armor.
Yeah.
That is going to be a total of 6 points of damage.
My arcane ward takes 6 points of damage.
And would you do me a favor and make me a strength saving throw?
Do I have to take a strength saving throw even though
do.
my ward was hit? Oh, gosh.
This mote of similar to that light you saw before, that sort of blue grayish color, moves around and forms a partial shield. You see where it would sink its fangs into her body, it actually crunches against the magic. Unfortunately, as it pulls back, trying to yank you down. What was that save?
It's a 15. Thank
15
you
is
again,
successful.
Flo.
You feel that as it pulls its fangs back, trying to bring you to the ground, you're able to resist being knocked prone.
Good.
Silas, the other wolf is going to come for you. That is going to be an 18 to hit.
misses.
That one there is a miss. Comes up, you're able to interpose your shield between Gwynwyn and the threat. And I did forget to move this boy here. 5, 10, 15, 20, 30.
Are you
I'm making a decision.
good?
35, 40.
Dang it!
Right choice.
The wizard!
Look,
Kill
you
the
should've
wizard.
said so far
Help!
up front.
As if it was
Welcome to being a wizard.
almost like a practice
It sucks.
maneuver. You watch the pair of them begin to work sort of in concert. That's gonna be one more bite attack against you.
Oh no.
That's a 7 to hit.
No, it doesn't hit! Yay!
But a pair of these wolves descend on the wizard. Mm-hmm. Moving forward, Silas, there's been a little bit of damage going around, but no one's like threatened too terribly right now. What are you doing?
Well, someone just tried to bite me, so I'm gonna hit it.
Okay, you're attacking the one directly in front of you? Is that correct?
Yes, the one right next to me, using a warhammer. Let's see, a 17 to hit.
17 does in fact hit these wolves. You bring your warhammer down, and how much damage is that for me?
It's gonna be a 1d8 if I can find it. That's a d10. Why is this
Right
hard
there.
to make? Oh God, I love you. This is why she sits next to me. It's gonna be 8 damage, and with the crusher feat, once per turn, I can slap him back 5 feet.
And is there a save for Crusher? Can you remind me?
So once per turn, when I hit with a bludgeoning, I can move one target 5 feet as long as they're no more than one size larger than me.
Excellent. And now, depending on which way you're swinging your hammer, determines where you're knocking it. Can you, if you'd like, you can go ahead and move or tell me where you're pushing this wolf away to. Excellent. You bring your hammer up, down, strike the wolf. The wolf is still up and alive. You see, it looks like a couple of its teeth shattered with the impact, and as it's knocked back from the force of your blow, it's still standing.
With that, though, I am going to move towards the poor wizard who seems to be surrounded, seeing if I can't get some aid there.
Help.
You want to move?
Let's put him, sorry.
Talking is a free action, right?
So yes, you're able to talk as a free action.
Yeah. So he's already moved appropriately, but as Silas begins to move, I say, line up. I'll be there to help you in a second.
Just,
Okay.
I'm wearing a dress. Help me.
I'm more concerned with her. Look, you
okay.
can walk.
Silas, is that it for your turn?
Yeah, that's my turn.
We're gonna move over to you, Mr. Thorn. Staying in the back, there don't appear to be any wolves that are right next to you at where you've started.
Do I hear any other wolves coming in?
Give me a perception check as you look for more threats.
DM, can you remind us the rules for like a free roll?
Yes.
A roll?
So, this is one thing I should have mentioned at the beginning of the stream is we do play with some homebrew. We use a lot of the rules. We enjoy the different expansions they've made, such as Xanathar's Guide to Everything and Tasha's Cauldron of Everything. But we do run with homebrew. A lot of it is tested, and even well-tested homebrew can sometimes have issues, and we iterate upon them. The biggest example is actually going to be Clella. Clella's always been great at testing homebrew for me, and she's actually playing a homebrew class we've been working on for the past few months. But for this particular house rule that we use is actually skill checks in combat. Rules is written there's a little bit of different ways that we use this, but for checks, if you're doing something that is perception or mental related, the first one of these checks is absolutely free. So looking for enemy archers, or trying to recall, wait, how do you kill a troll? What are trolls weak to? I forget. Those sorts of checks, all of those kind of, you can have, that first one is free. But if you want more of them, and I'm not prompting you for them, it's gonna cost you some actions. Delicious actions.
Don't like that.
The action economy runs the game, and I'm gonna be a capitalist.
Oh no.
Oh no.
I have a problem with this right now.
We have beef now.
Ooh.
And
He
I'm
said
a
lies.
vegetarian.
No, lies
The
behind the
vegetarian has
screen.
beef?
Lies behind the screen.
Right, yeah.
Moving on. Yes, give me that perception check. Sorry.
It's a
about
12.
that. It's a 12?
Oh.
I heard
Who's
an
the
orange
orange
die.
Yeah.
Listening around, they're not quite able to place it. The sounds of battle have begun. You hear your companion right in front of you shouting outwards. You do catch for a moment this sort of that chittering sound from before, now accompanied by more of this low growl. But it's really hard to place the direction. But you are aware something else is nearby, and it didn't sound like a wolf.
Okay. I'll let me double check that feature actually.
Or an elephant. I'm just saying, a chittering elephant would be terrifying.
Or an
That would be
ophthalmologist.
scary.
Okay.
A
I won't do
chittering
that.
ophthalmologist?
Okay.
I don't know what you're
I'll cast Mind Sliver on this wolf right here in front.
Excellent. Okay, that one is not injured, just making sure that's okay.
Oh, it's not injured?
No, the only
other
injured,
one.
yeah, that's one's right here.
Does that force a
No,
condition?
then the one in front of Ismay, sorry.
Perfect.
Does that force a condition? Sorry.
We can ignore this for this
Cool.
fight.
Sorry.
Okay, and what kind of save do I make? As you, are you pressing on your temple? How do you
No,
cast
I'm
Mind
gonna
Sliver?
kind of poke out with my dagger like I'm stabbing it, but I'm really far away.
Far behind the
And
combat.
if you can make a strong enough perception check, you may catch a faint green little needle pop out of the
You're
side
just
of the
bullying me at this point.
wolf.
Do you even magic? He's
A needle, excellent. You reach into your strange new abilities, pointing a dagger, and will this spell into existence. What kind of save do I make against Mind Sliver?
Intelligence saving throw.
Fun fact about wolves.
DC 14.
You'd also.
I rolled really well on the die. That is a 7. You point towards this wolf that is attacking Ismini, trying to go and bring her down to the ground. How much damage do I take?
6 points of psychic damage.
6 points of psychic damage. You hear a yelp and kind of a bit of confusion as this wolf thrashes about.
Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Fully we're all like, magic?
And then
Magic?
Magic.
Silas is elephant.
hammer! Hammer!
And after I kind of thrust my dagger out and I see that it takes a little bit of damage, I'll kind of just wave my hand like that. And as my bonus action, I'll use a telekinetic shove and push that thing as...
He does a lot of magic. What did you do?
You reach your hand outwards, again drawing upon this ability. I believe I make a strength saving throw, is that correct?
Strength saving throw, yeah.
And is it the same target?
Same target.
That might be a success. That is a 15.
15 succeeds.
15 succeeds. For a moment, all of the hair on this wolf is pushed flat. It almost appears a little bit smaller before poofing back out again as the force of energy pushes from there.
And I'm going to move a little bit.
Go ahead and take your movement. From there,
Move it.
we're going to move on to you, Elle. 3 targets, all still standing, 2 of which appear a little bit injured.
Before I move and take my action, really, I feel like I probably just felt some magic past me.
You would have heard the verbal components of his spell, so like he's
I
muttering.
heard something. Thorn seems weird to me. Can I argue an Arcana check?
So I actually would ask for an Arcana check for this. Also, are we able to run the music or is it broken?
There it
we
is.
go.
Yeah.
An Arcana check?
Yes.
That would be a 17.
17. It was a cantrip, right?
Mm-hmm.
You were able to tell a few things about this. Spell identification, we have rules for that. You're able to tell that you're recognizing that he used the weave to create a spell, but the method that he used to cast it was wrong. He didn't use the same channels of study you did. You haven't seen a spell book. He's not exactly dressed like a typical wizard. He's pretty much the opposite of a Dominion mage at this point. He has literal patchwork, patches sewn into his pants. But you are aware that thinking back about what happened here, you weren't watching during the time.
Yeah.
There's some weird magic going on, but you identify the general parts of his spell, not so much the source of it. The spell he cast was a spell that affected the mental capacity of its target and caused it harm. And the other effect you saw, you're not even sure if you'd categorize as a spell.
Weird.
Yeah.
Okay.
My players have been harassing me to tell me what's Connor's deal for weeks, and I said,
I know.
I've been trying to figure out Connor's deal forever.
We were working on it. And we're like,
yes,
barkeep.
you can make your movement. It's your turn.
What?
Yeah, he's a bard, actually.
I'll move for the next one. I forgot we moved your mic. My apologies.
No
Excellent.
worries. I take my movement,
Go the other way.
staying within the range.
Threatening, right?
Thank you.
Perfect. You
Threatening
quickly
range.
shuffle behind one of the wolves and get in flanking with your large companion here.
Cool. I already have my blade out, so I say, "Hey, leave the wizard alone." And as a bonus action, I am going to weapon burst with
Okay.
lightning damage.
You all watch as, rather than swing her sword at the start, she actually ignites her weapon, performing this minor form of enchantment on it before swinging down. A bolt of lightning, small sparks begin bolting around her weapon. Make your attack roll for me with advantage, as you are currently flanking the wolf.
That is going to be a 23.
A 23 absolutely hits, and this is against that one there. Perfect.
So a D6 plus 3 of piercing, and then a D4 of lightning.
All of this is effective, so you can give it to me all together.
Okay, so that's going to be 12 total.
12 total points of damage. And out of curiosity, are you attempting to perform this damage non-lethally against the wolf?
I'm going to say yes.
Okay.
I'm doing this non-lethally. The Force accepted us. I don't want to just wipe out
You
creatures.
strike against the hind regions like this, against the leg of this wolf, and as it stabs in, you stop yourself from embedding the blade in the creature, but the spark, as it pushes through, you watch as it kind of limply falls over, whining. It's like in a fugue state, like right between conscious and unconscious, is kind of whimpering, but it's going to shake it off.
Before we move on, I look at Isbing. Are you okay?
For now.
And that's when the roar happens.
Oh.
Oh!
Don't worry, it's just.
Is that the end of your turn, Elle?
Yeah, that's the end of my turn.
Excellent. We're going to go ahead and have this thing leap out of the bushes.
Why?
You watch as emerging from a low prowl
It's nice.
is
Said the forest was
this
nice to us.
It accepted us. Not that it
Never
was nice.
mind.
strange feline, probably about 9 feet long, about almost eye level with you when it's on all fours. It appears to be some sort of long-fanged tiger.
It's mozzarella.
Mozzarella.
It's cheese.
Your cat is huge, but not that big.
That's the size of my cat.
The tiger is going to take another step towards you.
She isn't
Right.
that mean, I will say.
I believe you're still adjacent to a wolf, is that correct?
I am.
Packed.
First attack is pack tactics. That's nice. What are you calling?
I called it already.
That's a 14?
Next time we
With
fight
advantage?
wolves, we're naming them after dogs.
Prosciutto.
That is, as the saber-toothed tiger leaps up towards you, you see it's performing some sort of pounce on you. Makes its attack as a 14 to hit.
Miss. Try again.
Oh.
I will.
I don't want to challenge the orange dice. I
as
realize
the
that.
teeth gnash at you, you bring up one of your bracers, which are able to kind of protect you briefly, as it performs its swipe against you. It's a 6 on that one.
That's
I don't think I need to
miss.
verify that.
Watch as
one.
this
Show me the die.
furious. No, I will not. It's
I'm not
blue
a
and I
fan.
don't appreciate it.
So now, because I turn into a panther, I leap out the window.
This massive beast, almost enraged seeming, leaps out and begins biting and clawing at you, but is not quite able to find purchase against you. We're going to then have it use the rest of its movement. It's 5'10". It's going to provoke an attack of opportunity.
I'm gonna swing.
So this guy here is going to move across the battlefield, forming up with one of the other wolves
An 8.
nearby. An 8. Unfortunately, you swing as it tries to leave your threatened range. You strike down. The flash of light illuminates where you are from your lightning, but you're not quite able to hit it as it moves past.
Dang.
It gets next to this wolf and just begins growling loudly. This growl's the wrong term. It's this guttural sound that big cats. Most big cats can't purr, but it's this strange throaty sound.
Big cats can't purr, but the other type of cat can purr. That's the differentiation between cats.
Is that the main one?
Yeah, it's roaring.
I told you,
purring.
nerds, a bunch of them.
Thank you, Amanda.
It's
I've
like
learned.
these are a bunch of people who play Dungeons and Dragons and they're free
Right.
time.
Or other cats purr.
like I'm
That's the
being
difference
assumed
between
here.
big cats and not big cats. That's why Cheetah's
Sorry,
not a big cat. I'm sorry, I'm a nerd.
Jake.
We appreciate it.
Oh, okay, because Cheetah was the exception that I knew. I didn't
Cheetah's
realize.
Not a big cat,
cat
because
facts
purr
with
is
Amanda.
not roar.
I would like to unsubscribe from Cat Facts and move on to Ismini Callister's turn.
Great. I'm still within melee range of a wolf.
Yes, there is an unconscious wolf right in front of you, and
Right.
Next to your companion here is another wolf. The wolf seems to still be focused on you.
I'm a
laser
little
focused.
nervous, and so I flick my wrists, pushing the sleeves back a little bit, and jingle bells in the direction of the wolf that's next to me. And I'd like
This haunting cacophony of bells begins echoing outwards from the little bracelets.
to cast Toll the Dead. Could the wolf make a wisdom saving throw? Oh no.
No, I fail. What
Okay,
happens to me?
great.
As the sound
Are
rings
you
out,
injured?
that is the darkest one here. Unfortunately, that is an uninjured wolf.
Great. So the D8.
Oh, at all.
Oh!
Is that 8 points of damage? Is that
It's
what we're
8
getting from it?
points of
Yeah, that's what I
damage.
figured.
Great, thank you.
Ringing out, you see the hair on its back stand up even further, this growl, and kind of a hint of just like kind of tilting of that fight or flight a little bit more towards flight here. It turns its head slightly and looks towards the accompanying tiger, and then faces back at you.
Great. Nothing with my bonus action. And I'm terrified of moving.
Yeah, getting
Fair
hit's
enough.
bad.
Yeah.
Don't get hit.
I'm gonna stay
That was
right
that's
here.
the whole deal.
That was
I mean, that's how you
that
win
was
D&D.
Yeah.
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 nothing else.
Okay, nothing else? We're gonna go to the top of round 2. We did a full round and nobody died. I'm so proud of you.
Yet.
We're gonna go up yet.
Yet.
Gwynwyn, this large beast before you seems to be standing next to this wolf, but the wolf is holding right next to it. The two of them not yet advancing.
Gwynwyn's gonna pull out a green vial full of acid, and she's going to ask both of them to make a dexterity saving throw as she tosses acid splash at both the tiger
polite.
and the wolf.
Is Acid Splash an AoE cantrip?
If they're within 5 feet of each other, yeah, you can hit 1 or 2 creatures.
Papa bless.
Dungeons
Okay.
and Dragons playing.
The strategy.
Saber Wolf. They're both making a dexterity saving throw.
Yeah.
Is your DC at least like 10?
14.
2 fails. Roll damage.
Woo.
We'll roll the same damage for both of them.
1.
1 points of damage. I appreciate it.
Damage is damage.
Damage is damage. is
Damage.
damage.
Damage is damage is damage.
Is
And
damage.
that was against this one here. You actually see that this one, the one who's closest, as it begins getting scalded, it begins whimpering. It is bloodied. It looks like it's taken a much more than it can handle. Like it couldn't handle many more hits.
And then Gwynwyn's going to step back. She's going to go kind of towards Silas again.
Okay.
Just hiding
Are you
behind
just
the big
moving
guy?
behind him
Yeah.
every turn? I love it.
1 more square
Silas,
back towards me.
when she gets next to you
Hey.
when in combat, are you readjusting your shield almost like reflexively, or are you? How much do you pay attention to her during a fight?
The first time, yes. After that, I realize I'm being used.
You do have an archer backup this time, so it's a little different fighting now than it used to be.
Oh,
Yeah.
friendship.
Okay.
crazy.
We're then going to move back to the wolf's turn.
Oh no.
I have to make a little bit of a contested roll here.
Oh god.
A loud growl is going to occur at the start of this turn. Well, that's not great for me. Wolf the first. Wolf the second. Wolf the second rolled a natural 1. Ismini and Elle, this wolf who's next to you, like confused, hurt, kind of whimpering, begins to turn and try to hightail it out of here. This does provoke from you, if you were interested in making an attack.
I've
roll.
used my
Have
reaction.
you already used your reaction?
It
for your
also
turn?
provokes from me because I have the Warcaster feat.
Oh shit.
It is okay. And what are you going to do as it begins to retreat?
Absolutely nothing. It's a wolf running away in the forest. Do not hurt animals trying to leave.
Okay, it is going to dash, not disengage, which means
Dinner.
doubles its movement speed. Which means
Superstition.
40 goes to 80. You watch as this begins disappearing into the brush. It's probably somewhere around 60 feet away, given how the difficult terrain works.
Bye, Ripley.
And begins pushing back.
I'm naming the wolves after our dog.
This one here,
At least he didn't die.
the other one here is going to advance forward. And it's going to actually get adjacent to its companion. You see that it puts some of its paws above and is going to take a bite at you, Silas, as it kind of steps over the unconscious wolf. 16?
Misses.
It does still miss. Begins biting and nipping at you, kind of tearing at some of the bottom of your gambeson, but not quite enough to cause you any actual harm. Moving over, Silas. This wolf is charged back up to you. What do you have?
This is a bad idea. Do you have a healing potion on you?
No.
You all do
What?
not, unfortunately.
No.
As a reminder, healing potions, the actual real deal, are 50 gold pieces apiece.
Mhm.
And, well, you were local
That's it?
town heroes. Wow. Wow. This is a
Loop
family-friendly
over.
channel, and we do not talk.
I have more than 50 gold.
I have so many words
Are
for
we
you.
sure we're not robbing her? Are we sure this side of the table is
I
not
don't say
robbing
that
side
in
of the table?
character.
What rhymes with rich?
Ditch.
Hitch.
Wait.
Remember my thing?
You're also
Friends of
quality
rich.
rich.
I'm
Did
noble. I'm noble.
Noble is kind of like being rich.
No, it's not. Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh.
Okay. But
I'm going to
Silas,
eat you.
you don't have access to any healing. What are you trying to do on your turn, my friend?
I'm gonna move closer to the larger of the beasts, provoking an attack of opportunity.
Okay. It is going to take that as you begin to move further away. That is a hit.
Hit me.
As you back up, you feel the teeth not at your ankles, not at your legs, but in the center of your back as it leaps, trying to bite into you. I need you to make me a strength saving throw as it bites through your gambeson. You take 10 points of damage. Oh yeah.
10.
A 10 and knocked prone,
So I'm guessing
which
I'm
will
a little
leave
bit
you
closer.
right here. You watch as it begins to tear into Silas's back, ripping up truly a beautiful stylistic choice.
Yeah, fair. I guess I haven't used an action. I'm gonna go ahead and get my ass up.
Clola, did we do a fit check earlier with the party?
I mean, we
I'm not
threw our
very fit.
outfits.
I think that's kind of what happened, and I don't know how
Yeah.
to feel
Do a
about
fit
it.
It is a fit check.
That's-
I mean,
I'm
you didn't give us like inspo or anything from it. So
I'm
down
mad.
for a true fit check.
I'm not a bard. I can't say cutting words, reduce damage, don't hit.
Oh,
I miss it so
Yeah,
much.
I miss
Well-
giving advantage on saving throws.
I know.
We'll
I
talk
want to be a
little bit-
20th level wizard.
I know,
We'll talk
right?
a little bit more about our previous campaigns and the changes
I know.
on our other show.
We're
Footnotes.
adjusting.
No, absolutely.
We're adjusting. I
No.
wanted to say
They're
cutting
kind
words.
of the best.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So I
Non-being
guess
better.
on
That is your move. So you're knocked prone.
Takes half my
You've
movement to
it
get
take half your movement to get up, or you can move at half speed while crawling. You've used one square of movement, so you have 25 feet of movement remaining, and it
I'll
always.
take- Yeah, I was about to say I'll take the other 15, I guess, to get up if it's half my movement. 15.
Mm-hmm.
And then if I'm up, I still have 10 movement.
And it has used its reaction.
Yeah. Then I'm still moving over here. I will use a bonus action, second wind.
Okay. You see Silas begins charging, bit in the back by a wolf, knocked to the ground, and then just shrugs, knocking the wolf off as he continues to advance towards the biggest threat.
I told you he was my strong arm.
It's
Brave
true.
heart, strong arm.
Unfortunate.
That
I
sounds like a
only
fun
go.
thing.
What's the third one from the Wizard of Oz? They're missing, what, the Tin Man?
Yeah, brain.
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 Scarecrow's got the brains.
No, brain. It's this side of
Oh my gosh!
It's this
Where's
side
our
of the
Dorothy? Or Toto.
Over there.
Toto's, oh, our little
Passed
dog
out
is
in the
asleep.
corner.
Never mind. You'll get to see her later.
What are we?
But can I prepare an action?
Munchkin?
So
Flying
Munchkin.
monkeys.
you'd like to hold an
Flying
action.
Yes.
What are you holding, and what is the
I'm a
trigger?
talking tree throwing.
I'm holding a swing with a warhammer if he bites me.
Oh, how fun. Okay.
I'm not hitting. I'm just waiting for him to react.
Are you getting into a stance where it's clearly defensive?
Defensive.
Maybe a persuasion check.
I'm not good at these. 14.
14. Okay. You watch as one paw begins to move back on the saber-toothed tiger. It's not its turn though, so we're gonna have Thorn and then we're gonna have L. Everything good? Sweet.
Okay. Seeing this happen, I'm gonna move 5, 10, and hide behind her, and I'll cast Dissonant Whispers on the Sabertooth.
Oh.
So make me a DC 14 Wisdom save.
Does 23 pass?
Yes, it does. About that Wisdom
You
save.
reach into its mind briefly, these whispers echoing, kind of like horribly bouncing throughout the woods as if the trees are giggling, and a very strong will opposes you.
I'll use my bonus action and telekinetic shove the wolf right there.
Nope. No.
That's a fail. Wouldn't you go ahead and push that in 5 feet in one direction? Perfect, getting everyone out of that space there.
I might die.
Anything else?
It's okay.
That's it.
Okay. We're gonna move over to you, L. Dissonant Whispers, just to confirm, I didn't mess that up. Doesn't have no effect on a successful save.
Right.
Well, it does half damage. I believe.
Ah, then I
Successful
apologize.
Dissonant
I
Whispers
need
is a
that.
cantrip, it doesn't do half damage.
No,
Yeah,
it's
it's a
a
first
first
level.
level spell.
Where's my favorite?
Yeah.
sword?
Oh, Dissonant Whispers versus
Yeah.
Vicious Mockery.
It just
yes.
doesn't run away, which is
It's
Right.
how
Yeah.
loud do you
Give it to
whisper
me.
and how fire is the burn. Like that's the real
Right,
distinction.
yeah.
So 4 points of
Fire?
damage.
Who am I?
Me.
Gross. No.
8 for half for 4.
Half to 4. Okay, you guys have not done a lot of damage to it. It kind of growls a little bit deeper there.
I was hoping to not hit it.
That is its turn. The Sabertooth looks up to you, Silas, and utters, "Leave."
Come again?
And is going to take its movement. It's provoking by leaving your attack of opportunity.
I was holding an action. I'm not gonna bother.
Oh, you're right.
Right.
You're holding an action that is going to that consumes your reaction. It's going to use its action to begin to and it attempts to hide in the shrubs, in the bush, the brush. You're still aware of it.
Great.
I'm the 14.
14.
You're the 14s?
We're,
oh,
no, we're
the two of you are
14s.
still aware.
We know.
Backing up and turning away as it continues to growl. The growls themselves harder to place, but the two of you can still sort of clock this. As we move over to Ismini's turn, you do see that.
I haven't gone.
Oh, I do apologize.
Elle goes before
I'm a
me.
terrible person.
Did I go before the saber?
You would have actually gone before this, and that's actually we're gonna do a real quick
Okay.
rewind.
Since we rewinded, I'm going to do the same check I was going to do, which
Sure.
is I want to do like an intent check, an insight check on Sabretooth. Is it
You trying to figure out how hostile
murderous?
something is?
Yeah, how hostile it is. If it's murderous.
So by this point, it's already beginning to retreat.
Okay.
And that's actually it's pretty clear. Like it's turning away. You've seen animals before. This is a predator who's gone in against a bunch of things and didn't instantly catch. Didn't instantly get to its prey.
Okay.
Such suspense.
There's something I think is going on,
Uh-huh.
but I'm not sure if I could roll for it.
Ooh, this is a fun question about metagaming. Your character, we've talked about, has heard. Is there perhaps a story you think you may have heard in the past about whatever you're curious about?
I know what a druid is, and I know what druids
Yeah.
can do,
Mm-hmm.
and I know we're looking for a druid, and I would guess like
You're looking for a shepherd, but they're normally druids.
yeah,
They're normally
I can
druids.
guess that saber-tooths aren't native to this region.
Do me a favor, make a nature check for me.
Sure. Not a great roll, but +5, 14.
The 14, you couldn't place like where in the world you could find saber-toothed tigers, but you do know they don't live in the Kingdom of Eltz.
Okay.
Either there's a circus and they've got a prehistoric creature, or you have found your druid.
Cool. So, rather than attack, I say, Quill,
Okay.
we really don't mean harm.
Is she talking to the?
She's talking to the cat.
Okay.
I'm guessing the steward stiffed you or something, right? We could talk it out. We don't have to swing a bunch of swords around, or warhammers, or spells.
A terse reply, which luckily you actually thank you so much. Your rewind
I'm willing to
doesn't
roll
change
a
much.
persuasion check for this.
Give
honestly.
me. I'll take your persuasion check. I will let you know it's a little bit hard because he did get attacked less than 6 seconds ago by this one.
But it's the matter.
You
I
can't
can't-
help you.
Yeah, I can't get
I
help.
didn't know what his intent was. I'm all the way over there.
No, you're playing excellently.
That's only a 10.
Only a 10.
unfortunately.
You do hear as it turns, begins to slink away. This just leave. This sort of. It's hard to parse all the words.
They're gonna keep coming. If it's not us, it's gonna be another group. They're gonna keep sending people.
Can't we help you?
Yeah, let us help you. Like we'll even lie and say that we'll figure something out.
I've obviously chose not to swing. I would love to hear you out.
So, little talk about D&D. All of this whole event, a whole round of combat, everyone gets to go, represents 6 seconds of time. This brief interaction, about 10 seconds, a flurry of bites and sparking steel. It's fleeting. Unfortunately, we also do have mechanics for things. Due to that persuasion check and the attack from a little bit earlier, you do watch as the druid Quill backs up into the darkness, releasing another low sound, and it's pretty clear from you that he's calling off the other wolf, which on its turn will attempt to move. It's going to be your decision if you make it an AOO as it does and continue to be hostile.
Too far away.
Oh, it's 2 squares off?
Yeah.
He already backed off. You pushed.
Oh. See? Thank you so much, buddy.
Yeah.
Making my life easier. So I'm curious, as the pair of them are going to begin to retreat back deeper into the wood, is anyone? So I'm gonna ask everybody. Are you making any further actions?
The only action I'd like to do is use my bonus action.
Well, I'm gonna let Gwynwyn go first because she would be further first in initiative.
Gwynwyn wants to go to the down
haven't
wolf and
gone
start
yet.
doing like a medicine check to just try to help stabilize the wolf because clearly the wolves are.
You're gonna check in. What are you thinking?
I am purely just putting my body in between Elle and the other wolves. Like, you've done enough now. Like, we're good. Like, now I'm here.
Mama Bear starts.
Mama Bear starts to put body in
Oh,
between.
that's weird. Don't like that one.
I am okay with Mama Bear. It's okay. I'm okay with that. I'm gonna do
I'm not.
Okay, well, then we need to discuss a new naming. Okay, and you. I'm watching you specifically.
Weirdo.
What?
I don't trust you.
I don't know if she's pointing at you or
Okay.
Thorn, to be honest.
Both. Both right now because Mama Bear says no more hit friend.
No more hit friend?
Hit Wes.
If I
hit
get my bonus
Wizard.
action, let me know.
Right. Great.
As they walk away, I'll do at least this. I can use prestidigitation to do a harmless sensory effect, including warming things. I just want to warm the ground as they walk away. True, like friendly nature. It's warm grounds. Everyone likes walking on warm things.
Let me know
Like,
when I get my bonus.
you ever been to like a fancy place where they've like warmed
Your bonus
tile
action.
in the bathroom?
I'll
It's
use
great.
telepathic speech and reach out to Quill.
You're telepathic. It's crazy.
What?
Some of us have
I
magic.
mean-
You don't.
Some
have
of us in
magic?
the audience already know what his deal is, but my players don't, which is fine.
I'm just like, don't hurt, and you're like, let me speak.
I'll notice that he's
brainwise.
walking away,
and
and
brainwise.
that
Speak brainwise.
that L said that his name was Quill, and I'll say, Quill, I know you can hear me, and you can talk normally this way.
Can Quill respond to this? And is it one message, or is it, how does,
It's a telepathic bond between two people.
how long does this last, and is it distance spaced?
It lasts. Where is it? Where is
You wouldn't
it?
understand.
Why did
It's
Eva
not
not have
the
this?
type of thing.
I have the telepathic.
Creature within 30 feet, which I believe I'm within 30 feet. If not, I'll move forward.
So because it's slinking away, going stealthily at half speed, you're able to move up. You're only in a couple seconds of this. If it breaks outside of that,
Sure. And the initial thing is within 30 feet to initiate the conversation. And the communication can be within a number of miles equal to my con modifier.
Your constitution modifier.
so great.
Sorry, charisma modifier. My bad.
Okay.
This is
I'm sorry, but that's better.
Metagame.
Actually, they're the same for you. Aren't
Same,
they?
yeah.
This
Yeah.
isn't the telepathic feat, is it?
Yeah. No, this is not the telepathic feat.
Yeah, it's definitely not.
Who
Why did
are
Eva not
you?
have
So,
I have
yeah,
no
I'll say,
idea.
Quill,
Different.
buddy.
You're in my mind.
Yeah, I
My wood.
am. Okay. Are you familiar with a Mr. John Ditch? Didditch?
So I will say this is happening over this. Before I continue here, as you're staring here, just looking into the darkness as it's running away. Is that correct?
I'm kind of walking toward him, just to I mean, obviously, I don't need to be that close.
Right.
But yeah.
He's picking up, going further into the woods, but now you have this bond with his mind.
Sounds rude to say he's weird.
No, he's weird.
I can't say.
I'm not talking out loud, by the way.
I know we're just watching you like wander off, and we're like,
He's weird.
Just kind of follow.
do you think he needs like a meal?
I'm casually
or-
walking
I'm
toward the
upset.
direction of this.
Okay, I'm gonna reel us all in. Are there any before I continue our conversation with between Thorn and Quill? Were there any actions in universe that happened? Otherwise, I'm gonna let you know that combat is going to end, and we're
No.
gonna shift back into just happy nature mode for a bit.
No, I
When
know
we
what's
get
happening.
distracted
and
by
I'm
that-
mad.
I kind of want to make a check. I've seen her cast magic for years.
There's when he does
magic
what he just did.
force
There's
look.
nothing happens. You're not aware of what he's doing.
Oh, not this. In general, I've seen him fight. I've seen her fight. Who's more similar to her casting?
Oh, that's fun. This is just going to be an Arcana check because you're just. This is You're not magical. Go ahead and roll. Well, you're not magical. The way that magic works in our world, perfect. I can tell you just a little bit. The way magic works is that through one mean or another, arcane casters would like your dear friend work by interacting and imposing their will on something called the weave. They use like wands and staffs, and they're able to in various ways commune with this magic. It appears that what she's doing is very similar, and I'm actually going to roll. I'm going to roll this over as well to give you a little bit more information you requested. The way these two cast magic is very similar. The way that El and Ismini work seems to be on the same level, and is similar to as well what your dear friend works. Not in universe standpoint, but you're still allowed to know. They all appear to be arcane casters, is what I'm kind of trying to transcribe to you.
Yeah.
They use the weave to cast spells. You have no idea what he just did.
I think I figured it out. Connor's playing a cleric.
What? That's weird.
Yes.
Wait, it's another.
Yeah, he loves
No, you
gods.
crushed it.
No.
Clerics,
Cleric.
charisma
No,
casters.
wait a second, where am I? I'm here, so the information that appears below me when we're not in combat, that's going to be accurate. I was like, where am
Is it too late for me to multi-class cleric?
No, just level up first. Can you go ahead and switch us into roleplay mode and switch the music off? Or off of combat?
Gwynwyn is very distracted by whatever Thorn is doing. 'Cause she only rolled a 2 on her medicine
Gwynwyn,
check.
he's just looking off. Like, you see him, like, tilting his head, looking into the forest, and kind of going through after the weird animal. He's not casting spells. You don't see any flickering lights as you do this. Did you need something before I continue, Jake?
Can I smell the ground from where the saber-tooth was?
Yeah, so if you're trying to track it, you are able to continue tracking that. However, when you do see it bounding, it is considerably faster than you.
Fair enough.
Beasts, man. You might be able to keep up. Didich and his people corrupt my wood. Won't help until wood is healthy again.
What are they doing to corrupt your wood?
Waters tainted. Workers complicit.
Does this have to do with the wolf's will?
They kill my wolves. I allow this as they use and respect them. They do something wrong. My waters. They're wrong now. Bitter. This kind of silence as it doesn't seem that Quill speaks much, and especially not in a mental link as he's bounding across the darkness. But you get the sense he's unsure. There's a sort of something about them is causing what's going on here, and so I'm protecting my wood. Priority 1, you're hurting the forest, which means that I'm on forest side. You guys get out. All of you get out. I will go, like, there's a just slight anger underneath. You hurt one of the wolves. You didn't kill them, so there's not full-on rage, but you're trespassing. My wood is hurt, and you've come when I'm trying to heal it. How dare you?
Okay.
And he talks slow.
I'll still
I have a
maintain
theory.
that as long as because
It's
there's
mild.
no-
It'll
there's
take
no
a minute.
time.
So if you're trying to talk to him over the next bit of time,
Yeah,
you
I'll
absolutely
just try
can.
to
Also-
reiterate like what water source
4
is doing
miles?
it. Is it the river? Is it a lake?
Is it 4 miles?
4 miles, yeah.
That's the whole forest.
Okay.
This is not that massive.
Yeah.
A small section of the wood cuts through part of the town, but most of the wood is like outside of town. But you're not going to be, while you're here, you're not going to be outside of the distance. Now you could break the link, I believe.
Yeah, yeah.
But you're well, like 4 miles is well outside of city limits.
Then I'll say, how can we help heal these woods?
Thinks for a moment. Your DM makes an intelligence check to see how much I understand about the production of this particular alchemical reagent. Scuffs is a good man.
Brian? Okay.
Maybe he knows what's wrong, but he stays out of my wood.
Okay.
Victoria.
Where?
Yes.
Yes.
What?
Yeah.
What,
Maybe.
What water source is tainted?
Stream feeds wolves.
Okay.
Something grew at the bottom, killing the animals.
Okay.
A flash for the briefest of moments, and you see it. Not so much as a perfect crystallized, HD view of this, but more of the general sense of it, of this small little bubbling brook in a glade at the center of the forest that pools into this pond. It's clear, you see some fish going through it, and just this faint blue glow coming from the bottom, and it feels wrong. It's the only thing out of an otherwise idyllic scene. And as it ends there, you see the water is displaced, something moving quickly, and this just violence for the briefest of moments beneath the surface of the water, and the vision fades once more, and you just feel the anger of Quill, the way his wood has been perverted.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry we came off on these, or started off on these bad terms.
Wood.
But I'd love to help you guys out. And the only way we can really get paid is if we return you.
No, that one before, the one word.
We'll talk about that later.
Okay. As you go on, the connection's still there. So you feel, how long does this connection last? Does it have a duration?
No.
I don't think it does.
It doesn't.
That's a
You've got it.
Do we just
subclasses,
see
dude.
Thorn like wander
It's
off
just
a little bit,
the
and he
number
just
of miles.
comes
It has been
back?
over a minute. I want to ask, have you been trying to do anything active to try to hide this, or are you just kind of wandering and like looking slightly upwards?
Well, when he mentioned the stream, I'm trying to locate kind of any like landmarks that point me toward a
This,
stream.
because of this vision, you have the general sense and mechanically advantage when trying to find it of roughly where it is. It is located not near the trail. It's still a full like mile off of the trail. Hidden deep within the wood is a small. It's not a magic pond. It isn't a pond filled with sprites and fairies. It's the place where most of the larger creatures here go to get water, and
Okay.
something's wrong with the water.
While I'm kind of like just looking off, and once I get a sense of what direction, I'm gonna say, you guys come with me. I got like a thing.
Sure, why not?
I'm gonna start heading in that direction.
I don't know.
You're gonna head towards the stream.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
trust the weird guy because
Can you define things?
I've read books.
You've got the thing.
Right.
Yeah.
you owe us some explanations.
Like
kid.
a sudden realization of great truth.
Epiphany.
Can I roll an
Yeah.
insight check on
I
that?
don't deal with truth.
You have.
I'm
a
sorry.
bow.
Whoa.
Lied
Hold
and hurt
on.
you.
You
She deals
shook
in
your
books.
arms at something
Wait.
and heard it.
Who hurt you as a
swing.
child? Who lied to you?
We're not getting into Callisters. You back off.
My family.
Leave them alone.
My
On
family.
their side, I don't know, dude.
Elves are good, and so are their
She
friends.
said she doesn't believe in the truth. Who hurt you as a
Oh,
child?
good.
No.
Weren't they
Where are we
start the
going?
Last war.
Thorn.
I
This
said
way.
How do you know this?
I'm gonna say it.
truth.
Epiphany, like he said.
No, I don't believe you. I roll an insight check if required, but I don't believe you. Can you roll a deception check?
Are you trying? So, yes. So it's very rare that we let players roll against each other. It's deception versus insight. If you're trying to deceive one another. Now, here's the thing. It's not a simple pass-fail, as Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition is not generally designed for player versus player. So I'm going to ask both of you for the result. First, the deception.
13.
The insight.
13.
The 13. So this is a difficult thing. You've worked with all sorts of folks. You've spoken with a lot of people who are very good at getting people to give up their money in a game.
All walks of life.
Would you say you have a good poker face?
I would think so.
He's
get
hard to read.
Good tips.
And honestly, you don't really have much to go off. His mental ability he used has no visual ability to it. It's just he kind of looked off into the forest, looked around, and just basically told you, "I've got a hunch." He could be lying. You're also not you're not. I believe you unconditionally, but there's no general sense one way or the other where this knowledge comes from or why he's so confident.
Okay, Thorn. We'll go with you.
Let's go.
You'll eventually owe us answers.
Did you just make a decision?
I'm under
for
no
us?
obligation.
I already said we
Answer
were following
questions.
him. We have no reason not to trust him.
Gwynwood said that you would come with us, and is being
No one's
I'm not
speaking
adventuring.
to
I'm
you.
traveling.
I spoke with him.
I
Vacation.
don't trust you.
I'm just auditing.
I'm your best friend.
I actually don't recognize the contract of the Kingdom of Eltz. We're not going to
You
get it.
missed us plotting someone's death.
That's
so
fine.
it's
We
That's fine.
were making
Perfect.
fun of people. So it's fine.
We don't trust this
okay.
Wait,
corner.
That's a fair
So
one.
you mean me?
corner.
DM
I'm the only one on the corner.
Thorn
At least this
Thorny
corner
was like-
has a direction. What
like-
have y'all brought to the
has a
table?
glazed look into a corner and then goes, I know where the problem is.
It's going to be
I
fun.
look up to the sky, kind of hoping that the moon's starting to crest over and just,
That's a little creepy. isn't it?
Never mind.
What time
Now
is
I
it?
believe him.
So it is 10 o'clock.
No. What time is it in Kent?
Oh, okay. Yeah, sometimes your DM doesn't know what he's talking about. It's a little bit like none of you actually carry timepieces, and you are beneath a relatively thick canopy here. But just kind of guesstimating here, it's an intelligence check. It's
An intelligence check. I'm carrying a dime piece.
7.
with a 7. You've probably been here like
God damn it.
30-ish minutes,
Okay. Pretty
which
quick.
would put you somewhere like early afternoon. It's not late.
Okay.
There's plenty of hours of sunlight, and we're talking about going less than 2 miles.
Awesome.
It's not. We're not doing the
Short
same
hike,
thing.
guys. Just-
Now it's
I
through
had
difficult
goals
terrain.
time.
As a reminder, so think of it more like going 4 miles. But
Gwynwood would like to ride Silas on his shoulder. Just sit there because
Silas, do you
short.
put up with that?
Are you friends?
We're childhood
53
friends.
years.
This is wild. I am so loving this different
3
dynamic.
years I put up with it, and I'll stick with it for another
I'm
500.
scared of the day Silas snaps.
You say 500 and get like an eyebrow. It's like neither of you will live 500 years.
Oh, how old are you again? How
I'm
old am I
60.
again? How old
You're
do I
also
live?
60.
How old are you?
Look, I don't have a family. I don't know how old
I don't have a dad.
Okay.
Sudden oh god trauma.
You don't have a
okay.
family?
He
I
had
back
Mama
off.
Grandfear. That's all he needs.
that your mom?
Are we all following Thorn as we're
Yeah,
doing
we're all
this?
following Thorn and questioning Silas about his tragic past where he goes,
Thorn
I don't have a
mentioned-
family.
Thorn mentioned trusting the woods. I follow Thorn.
Thorn, you continue marching forward,
I
and
was
as you
trusting the moon.
pass by
moon is
a
not even
large.
I trust you more.
I'm looking for it.
Oh.
There's
I'm
a
looking for
blue
it.
mist.
You guys begin
very
following after your half-drow companion, who, as you pass by one of these large pine trees, these huge ancient trees here, because you get deeper in the forest, it appears the forest itself does age along with, the closer you are to the heart here. If you round about one of the corners, you do see 6 more wolves who, as you pass, just kind of turn their heads with you.
Just kind of.
A small pack that looks. They appear gaunt, hungry, but allow you to pass.
Wait, I will pull out a set of rations.
Okay.
Do I have any jerky?
I can make food.
You have that.
I can
Yeah.
buy food.
You still have a little bit of your rations from the bar.
Money
Put a
can be
couple-
exchanged for goods
couple
and
bits.
services.
Gross.
I take out. Oh, come on. There's a reference at least.
I'll throw a couple bits of dried meat to them.
Yeah.
And,
Share out some rations.
Yeah,
Okay.
you guys take a brief moment to procure some supplies and just drop them down. You watch as a moment later, one of the wolves backs up and just kind of lives this kind of like whimpering sound that you hear, and a trio of little pups emerges from this small. There's a bit of brush which has a bit of area that's been dug out as the wolves emerge. The wolves here, despite my paint job from before, they're not. They're more of they're a series of grays and browns rather than like those Arctic whites.
Yeah.
So you said the wolves are gone. They're hungry.
Yeah.
Has there been a noticeable lack of small animals on our hike here?
Oh, what a wild question! Give me that survival check. I'm about it. Ew.
12.
Didn't help.
12.
12? You haven't noticed a ton of game, but looking closer at this, with that survival check, I'm actually going to go kind of roll this into something else. It's hard to tell the difference, which my search history is now really weird. It's hard to tell the difference between an animal who hasn't eaten a wolf that hasn't eaten very much and hasn't had much to drink.
That is a weird
Their
situation.
but it is definitely it's experiencing some form of malnourishment. They're not doing great here.
Everyone's pulling out their rations.
Mm-hmm.
Has he told us anything about the stream?
Nope.
Nope.
Are you fucking with shit then?
He mentioned the moon. Can I think about like what I know about like
Religion
moon?
checks?
Yes.
Yeah, you can make a religion check for me.
A 6. I don't know.
I'd also like to.
DC 5, I can tell you one thing about the moon. There is a moon goddess who's really important to your religion, or the religion of the Vorax Empire, and to the religion of the place you're in. There is a moon goddess, but in the moment you're just like, I mean, people worship the moon. That happens.
Fair.
You don't personally, is my understanding. Is that
No,
correct?
yeah, I don't.
But you know, it's likely that so a lot of people you grew up with worship the moon. A lot of people. Oh gosh, there's words on secrets.
I did have a question because I do worship the moon.
Gorgeous. I
Same.
love this.
I do worship the moon.
And noted. Thank you for this.
Thank you.
Weird religion.
Could I also do religion because I worship the literal moon?
Well, okay. So I will say this. Sometimes in D&D you ask for checks because you're not sure. There's a chance of success or failure. Sometimes you don't because you worship the moon. It's like, hey, what was that? What is it you'd like to know about the goddess Sahanine Moonbow, the goddess of the moon?
Yeah, because I worship specifically the Elven Pantheon, Sahadai Moonbow.
Yes.
I want to basically, more than just about the moon, but gauge the actual validity. Like, does this sound like a practitioner of worshiping the moon, talking about, like,
Now
I
give me a
listen to the
religion
moon?
check.
Thank you. I want to know if this is somebody being honest or just saying I'm following the moon.
I'm going to give her some basic information that's generalized, and if you feel like there's anything you'd like to add based on the results on her roll, you'll be allowed to do so afterwards.
Math 20. These are...
There are two primary
Lower.
deities that you'd think about.
Thanks,
The
guys.
Elvish pantheon. So, in the world we know, this setting that we play in, there are a couple of pantheons of divine entities, these powerful beings that created the races and do good or bad things depending on where along the cosmic spectrum they lie. The two big elven goddesses you'd think about, the two deities you'd think about with the moon, are Sahanine Moonbow. Lady Moonbow is the otherwise known as the Moon Maiden, is the goddess of the moon. She's a very good god. She also has a adopted daughter by the name of Illustrae. Illustrae, unlike Lady Moonbow, is a goddess of the drow. Now, lots of elves worship her too. She's the drow or dark elves. Generally speaking, there's a lot of evil drow. The surface is often plagued by them. Earlier, the reason he experienced that issue with the guard was that drow were very generally looked down upon by a lot of surface worlders, especially in this area, given some stuff that's gone on in the past. Illustrae is the goddess of the moon who says basically, search out the moon, find truth, find justice, and we can find a new path for our people. And it's not unheard of for worshippers of Illustri to wander the surface, spreading the word, and just generally try to be the beacon. That's kind of the general guideline here. Now, Connor, you don't have to say literally anything if you don't want to, but if you think that there's anything else you'd like to add based on how you're acting, you may.
Just how Thorn's dad brought him up.
Okay.
Kind of just look when the or when the sun's setting. Look for the moon.
You and I are similar then, and I appreciate this revelation.
Yeah.
I trust you now more than I should.
Now, I have to ask a question, and this is not the last time I'll give you this option, but I will occasionally simply just pay attention rather than give you an opportunity to change your minds. Are you traveling stealthily this time?
No.
Honestly, because I already
No.
have that open conversation with Quill, I'm just walking toward the stream.
Excellent.
I'm
I
thinking
can't speak
so
for anyone else.
We're following Thorn, and if he's not behaving stealthily, we're gonna just trust him.
We're just trotting along.
Gwynwyn's distracted trying to think of things.
You
She
know that,
can't
like,
think of anything. And
Leonardo
I'm like
DiCaprio
trying to. I'm like
meme.
making up conspiracy theories
Who's
about what I
walking
think
the closest to Thorn?
thinks.
I'm still probably trying to lead the group, but Thorn is apparently the directional.
Okay,
Second place.
so the
And
two
we're
of you are
sneaking in the back.
the two of you are easily 10 to 15 feet ahead of the rest of the party as you're. It's difficult terrain. There's lots of twigs and such. As you begin pushing forward, there's no punishment. This is a good thing.
Oh, I was about to say this is where.
Don't worry.
Wait, is Gwynwyn still writing, Silas? I think so. Silas?
Unfortunately, she's on my
Perfect.
shoulder.
You got her perched. Then actually, Gwynwyn, you're gonna get the best sight of this as you begin cresting over and see the beautiful light in this small, well-lit glade. It's probably looking up at the sun. You can see it's probably about 3 o'clock at this point. Unfortunately, due to your lack of stealth, as you, Gwynwyn, you only get to see for the briefest of moments. On the other side of the bank of this stream, the stream itself about 15-ish feet wide, you see a small collection of deer, one of which begins to slowly approach, bring its head down to the side of the water, and a flash of blue light underneath, and what looks to be a spurt of like mud, like thick mud, this dark brown mud with like bits of gravel and stone from the base, pulls upwards and starts to envelop the deer as it tries to drink. You watch as the mud descends back into the level of the stream itself. The deer is gone. This young doe in an instant gone. The rest of them, some of them reacting to the sound of the water, others turning their head towards the approaching group, begin scattering, running, bouncing, bounding into the forest around.
Just Gwynwyn that saw that.
Gwynwyn would have caught the most of it, so got to see the actual cute deer. The two of you hit the top of this small hill, probably only about like 10 feet above a normal level here, and you look down and you just see deer scattering and mud descending. You didn't fully see what happened, but you get the general gist of it.
Just look up. I see her bawling her eyes out.
Gwynwyn does have a teardrop going down her face and going, no!
The
Is
blue
something
light
wrong?
glows, and then dims once more. And now it's just, again, a bubbling stream. The stream itself looks to be coming from town, not towards town. So it's running away from the town.
There's something magically wrong with that stream.
How do you
That's
know?
what
I just saw it envelop a deer. It completely just ate a deer.
that's what the fucking tiger with the overbite said.
What you talk to the tiger?
Did you say a tiger with an overbite?
Yeah.
Guys, I gotta tell you, his dental care plan is not
You
great.
talked how? Do
Have-
you speak Druidic?
Wait, no, the tiger
Are
talked
you a
to me
druid?
too.
No, he told me.
I was supposed to say he talked to me too.
No, he spoke a few words, but he didn't tell us anything about a magical river.
I mean, that's kind of fair.
He told me about the river. That's why
How?
we're going that way.
I don't
just
think-
had a hunch.
How,
Wait,
Thorn?
what?
Wait, you're telling me that
He
an entire
talked to me.
animal, maybe
Oh, well?
100 pounds or more, was instantaneously
I heard it. Did you not hear it?
Yes, it just was completely enveloped
Okay,
by
pulling
mud and
we
pulled in
all
and
in,
gone,
we
and that's
all
why
in.
all the deer
Did you
scattered.
hear?
You heard him
Saber-tooth?
talk, right?
Well, he actually talked to me directly.
He
but
physically talked
What
saying
did,
leave, but that's all he
what
said.
did he tell you then? If he talked to you directly,
forest something. Moving
Leave.
on.
He said leave. That's what he told him.
Yes, there are leaves in the
It wasn't
So,
very
like,
quiet.
To leave, go, you know.
leaves in the
Wait,
forest.
no.
I don't-
You say
Something about the water specifically. He just says forest shit.
You said
she just says forest leave, which is what we
no,
heard too.
no. But she says that an entire 100+ pound animal was eaten by something.
Mud
more
reached
concerned
up,
Mud?
grabbed,
Okay.
and pulled the deer in. And blue light glowed.
Once.
The blue light. That's
Yes.
what the.
That's what the saber-toothed tiger told
Yeah,
you?
yeah.
Interrogate
Fucking
him later. Let's figure out.
Bottom
whatever
tooth
this
told
is.
me, or whatever. his
May
name
I
is.
reach into my pack and begin frantically digging through pages that have nothing?
I'd like to begin ritually casting Identify on the river. I want to
On
see
the-
if this...
I'm sorry. Identifying. You're going to attempt to cast that spell. Do note that because this is a not a perfect implementation of the spell. It might be a little bit different than you
How
expect.
far away are we from the blue glow?
You guys are a solid 40 feet from the stream. Where you are was about a 10-foot little hill, and then just kind of, you see at some point the dirt separated, and there's a little bit of a drop. You could climb down pretty carefully,
How close was the deer that you saw?
which is on the other side of the
Trying to
stream.
drink the water out of it. and
So
that's
about
all.
30 to 40 feet to the stream. The stream is, depending on where you are in it, 10 to 25 feet.
Okay.
And the deer was right on the other side. It's not, you're not far, but also there's no seeming danger here.
Can I pick up like a stick or a stone and just throw it in that direction?
Yeah, that was my exact question.
I can watch Thorin do this.
Mud!
That's what I saw.
Okay.
want
I'm
them
going to need
involved.
everyone who can cast a spell and understands why they can cast a spell to make me an Arcana check.
I feel targeted.
You feel targeted. How do I feel? Who can't even do that?
22.
22?
6!
Can I argue that I
An
can't cast a
Arcanist.
spell?
No,
6.
there's a fail. 22, that's one success.
22.
Yeah, no, you're good.
We're good.
It wasn't just mud.
Okay.
Inside of the mud, you saw a strange, this strange object, some sort of, perhaps it was a rock or constructed piece of artifice, maybe even a crystal that was giving off a dull blue light. Something was animating this. Some sort of bound magic is inside of the mud itself. It doesn't appear that the mud is a spell. It appears that the mud is something that is being controlled by magic.
I have a player question.
Yes, ma'am.
Who on earth is Brian Scuffs?
Brian, oh, not a problem. So this is, there was, you had a lot of tea time.
Yeah.
Brian Scuffs is in charge of the workshop that creates Wolf's Will.
Oh, I see him now.
He's a
Okay,
good
cool.
Scuffs,
Connecting notes.
Scuffs, which is something you would know, is a name given to individuals who aren't member of a family or like orphaned in the Scuffle, which is the general region of the continent you're currently in.
Okay.
So it's kind of,
Great.
I'm not like a noble. I don't have a family that matters, and I might not even know who my family is.
Great.
What's your last name?
Yes.
He's an adopted grandfear. It's okay.
Silas, yes.
No, I literally, that's it. I don't have a name. It's Silas. What more do you want from me?
Don't be rude.
Yeah. Don't be
There's
rude.
so much of him. You want to add more? A name?
I mean,
Anything else? There's too much.
Is that a late
just
joke?
didn't get his last name earlier. She
Oh,
gave me her
honey.
last name.
I went through
He gave me a single.
You're like
Word.
almost 8
Stop
feet
you.
and
I'm
300
sorry.
pounds.
Gave her
You're
a
like
whole name.
railed.
Just to clarify, we have
My
a
apologies.
player
They
character.
even recognize our names, which is
Who, when you
almost
stealth,
insulting at this point.
There's a sound.
Like, don't you know who we are?
Ba-dum.
You don't.
Wait, no,
You
I
really
have
don't.
exactly
No.
+1 to myself, which is
We're gonna
probably
call it
better than someone
refreshing and not
unstable.
insulting.
Disadvantage. Oh, you don't have disadvantage. You're not wearing armor.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you do see that this stream is quite dangerous at the moment. It appears to be reacting when things are touching the water itself. Though there could be other stimuli that activate the spell. You'd need to do a little bit more study. On that ritual cast of Identify, which does take about 10 minutes.
Yeah.
As a reminder, I believe there's a verbal component for Identify.
Yeah.
And as such, you're kind of standing here, the light coming down, some of it like moving a little bit as the trees sway in the early fall breeze. There's you're just kind of saying these rhythmic dwarven phrases. Dwarven, a firm. There's these hard consonants, and there are very distinct stops and breaks in between words. And as you continue casting your spell, so I'll let you know, this is not a spell effect, but what I can do is explain a little bit more about the magic that affects it. So spell, those of you who don't, spell versus magic, the difference here is spells are like certain sets of specific abilities that some people, like wizards, can do. There are magics that aren't spells, but what the dividing line is a little wibbly wobbly. These players have worked with us for a while, and so they tend to know the difference in our setting, but your DM might be a little bit different. In this case, can you give me an Arcana check? And I'm actually going to give you advantage due to you using the spell.
11.
11. Something about this. You feel with the spell, and there's actually a mote of something that's a little surprising. A mote of conjuration magic. So something about what is happening here may have to do with either bringing something out from another realm, or even with the faintest hints, it appears that there's some sort of entity that has been summoned or created and bound to something in the stream. It could have been, this can happen naturally, as one strange thing is it doesn't appear that a spell was cast here. This appears a natural result of some sort of magical material or magic creature that may have been here. It doesn't seem like whatever was put here, it doesn't seem like the answer is a wizard did it, which, trust me, we're going to answer it that way a lot.
It's fair.
Yeah.
It's fair.
A wizard did it, but how?
But why?
Oh, why is a great question.
Why is never answered?
But as we stay here, it's been about 10 minutes already. There's still no imminent danger that's happening here.
I'm gonna spend those 10 minutes, which means I'm gonna spend quite a bit of gold.
I was wrong about the telepathic speech. That's all right, though.
That's okay.
It's a
That's
number
fun.
of minutes equal to my sorcerer level.
Oh, interesting. Well, we talked mainly about 2 minutes anyways. That's fine.
Cool.
Don't stress too much. The rules are useful, but not always what works best for the game.
While they're doing their thing, where I saw that I threw the rock in and the mud came out, can I... Hold on, before I say anything. Can I do like a minor illusion of just a random person kind of bending down to take a drink out of the stream?
Interesting.
Aggressive.
Shape it like her.
Hey!
Okay, so you're saying it's going to go down and put its hand, its illusory hands?
like it's trying to.
So it is perfectly silent, as the minor illusion spell lets it create this thing, and some people say it can't move. It's fine. It reaches down. You put this illusion. It's not perfect. It reaches down, touches the water, moves its hands upward as if it's drinking. No movement.
Okay, so it's
Nothing
when
happens.
someone actually interacts with the water. It's not sight.
Can I light a torch and throw it in the water?
Sure. That'll probably ruin the torch.
Yeah,
That fine?
that's fine.
You spark it. I'm gonna let him finish his one first. Is that okay? Or
Wait.
unless you're interrupting.
It's a 10-minute thing.
Oh, sure. Tell me what are you doing for 10 minutes?
Because we didn't do it beforehand, 10 minutes and 10 gold from me to cast Find Familiar.
Oh, interesting. We'll have you. And once I've explained what happens to his thing, I'm gonna ask you to describe your familiar. We are coming close to the end of this, guys. Just letting everybody know, just for the night. Okay, you take your torch, and are you trying to throw it into the water, next to the water? Are you doing it the same spot as what Thorn did? I want you to. There's just a room before you, this open glade.
I want to lob it into the air, and in the time that it takes to go from up here to down here, I want to see if I can't grab a rock and launch it into the. This is weird. Okay.
Okay.
There was a light
A
that
train
keeps
leaving the
shining.
station. Yeah.
I want to see if I can't find the light
Two
and
tracks, you got
throw
one
a
switch.
rock at it when
Oh.
it pops up.
Would you like to someone else throw the torch and then you throw at the mud?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that works for me.
Uh-huh.
Okay, you throw the torch, I throw the mud, or do you want to throw the...
I stick my hand in
Rock.
and cast shot.
You throw the rock at the mud.
Hey, we can do that.
You guys are. No one has mentioned approaching the water, so I'm not. I don't ever want to err on the
Yeah.
side of against you guys.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to trick you.
I'm happy to help, Silas. I
Yeah.
will throw the torch for you in the air, you said?
Yeah, just throw it so that I have a rock ready. Just throw it, it's fine.
Okay,
This-
sure.
The light coalesces and
There's rocks ready.
standing
It's a stream.
in your palm. Describe to me what we see.
I have the cubone of familiars. I have an adorable little raven
Yeah.
with a little skull hat on.
Does it say bone?
Bound.
It has a rock and a little bone in its mouth too.
Their name is Squawk.
You'll notice now that Squawk has been manifested, your brooch itself has left its place on your neck and is now rested atop the neck of this little bird.
Considering I don't know what happens if I cast Squawk as like a rat or a cat or an octopus, I don't know what happens to the bone then.
Have you not experimented ever since doing this for the first time?
Squawk is a raven.
That's wonderful.
Ernest.
Squawk is a raven.
Perfect.
Have I seen Squawk before?
Probably.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, Squawk got hit by the bandits over near Calberth.
I'm so sad.
Okay.
You're bandits.
Your fault. But I don't want Squawk to get within 20 feet. Like, I'm doing the whole casting 10-minute ritual. I'm burning incense, spinning it in circles, closing my eyes and humming, like leaning into the magic, like trying to like feel it
Yes,
while
ma'am.
I'm doing this. While
I see why
Gwynwyn's
she
doing
keeps
the
mushrooms in her bag.
yeah. While Gwynwyn's doing the identify, I just want Squawk to like fly overhead and just I want to warg out basically into Squawk. and
Everyone knows it.
watch.
You're warging.
I'm warging.
Now, as a reminder, you don't assume. So
I'm-
the way familiars work, familiars are a small magical creature that some spellcasters can make. Now, you can command it. It's smart. And is this a fey or fiend spirit that you've bound to you?
It is not Fey.
Celestial is also an option.
It's not Celestial.
Is it the other one?
There's only 3.
It's Fiend. Yeah.
So this small fiend, you can command it, and you can either. Now, do you get to switch in, and you see and hear? Is that correct?
Yeah, it's an action to go into the view. I can double check on. I don't remember specifically if it's both at the same time or one or the other.
We're fine. So you want to go over and do a swoop? Give me a perception check using your bird.
All right. 13.
With a 13, once you're above the water, you see that there's not just the blue light above, because it's clear water, is coming from dozens of blue crystals. Some of them as large as about 1.5 feet. These angular crystals. These crystals appear to be naturally forming. Now,
Okay.
they don't appear that they should be here necessarily, but they don't look manufactured. There's some sort of crystal that formed as some sort of material crystallized. I mean,
Right.
there's a process for this. But they're glowing and emanating a familiar sort of light.
These are at the bottom.
These are at the bottom of the stream. Some of them are half submerged in this like thick mud at the bottom. You see some of them as the stream rolls on. There's little bits of rock that roll across that the stone will touch next to one of the crystals, and the crystal will roll over some of the mud and collapse onto this. It's very animate at the bottom of the stream. The stream is bubbling more than it should be.
I don't know if it's something I can find out, but as these crystals are hitting things, are they growing inside? Is this something I can tell? Are they
They
growing
don't look like they're
inside?
growing. They're like flashing on and off. And
Okay.
as you're looking at this, can you give me... I suppose, give me just a really quick... Because you're not sure if this is natural or magical.
Right.
If you're not sure, it's a flat intelligence roll. If you want to go out on a limb and really focus on something, you can. But there's a chance you'll be thinking, barking up the wrong tree.
Flat intelligence, because
Okay.
I'm not sure at this point.
Nice.
Yeah. 23.
Damn.
I've not rolled under a 16.
Okay,
I don't
can
Hot
maybe
answer?
one.
dice.
Yeah, can I have your dice?
Best gift ever.
Right. I know, these are the
I have
best
some
dice. Use
I'm
them.
the secretary. Can I have some
I
dice?
have rolled
Only Connor's not
So
breaking
there's
up
a
this tree.
there's a
I got plenty of
concept
dice.
in
I got the newest lead dice.
abjurative research
Okay.
that you could bind a conjured or summoned entity or a naturally occurring spirit to some sort of medium. Basically, if you had some sort of like weak little magical entity or an elemental or a fiend, you could put it in a small vessel or container. People have used silver orbs. They've used magic lamps. Whatever this crystal that's forming at the bottom of this appears to be capturing some sort of spirit and animating this angry thing beneath.
Okay. I'm gonna just share all of this very, like, I'm seeing spirits
You're
inhabiting rocks, the bottom of the,
you're telling us about this?
Yeah.
Yes, she
I'm
can't hear.
sharing.
She can hear you because the bird's only like 30 feet away.
Right, but
I'll-
I'm fully just like eyes closed while looking
I'll move
through.
over to where I can possibly get a good look at where these crystals are. But try not to get too close to the bank.
How
Wait.
close are you getting to the bank?
Wait,
20 feet.
Before he goes, I have rope for a reason. I'm tying it around his waist and letting him get closer. Than
I
that.
have the rope of climbing. I pull out the rope of climbing.
Is there a difference between your rope and my rope?
It's magical rope, yes.
The rope
That's,
like wiggles.
that's a big difference, actually.
It wiggles, it's magical
Put the magic
yes.
rope on the boy.
I love this. I've got my eyes closed, like I see movement at the
It's
bottom
been
of the
so long
lake.
since you've seen someone with magic items.
You know what? I want to go home. I'm done.
We
I-
need to keep moving.
You used your
Moving
name
where?
today.
She used my name.
Okay, I'll take the rope, I'll tie it around
Power
my
play.
waist, and I'll move.
They don't even know who I am.
We don't even care.
I have
who
the
you
other
are.
end of the rope. It's 60
That's
feet.
worse.
Okay,
Okay,
so
can you have
I need
big
to know
boy
for sure.
Yeah, no, I
Are you
Okay.
using? So the rope of climbing, I will want to verify. I'm not certain it can just carry people. I think you have to actually use the strength to climb up it.
Can you just climb like down
Well,
it?
it's-
Like a
oh,
ladder?
So are you
You
just
have
having
them
it attached?
hold
Are you attaching the rope or the magic rope?
He's
I'm using the magic rope, but I'm having Silas hold the other end, so that way, if need be, he
Yeah,
can
you
pull
can
it
pull
out.
it.
one end is tied around his waist. One end is tied around Silas's waist. Silas is sitting down.
Papa bless.
Silas is
So-
an anchor.
I'm gonna walk up within like 20 feet to where I can possibly see a crystal. I want to see one of the crystals.
You descend down from the hill. Begin walking along the ground. Amanda, did you need to interrupt me as I'm
Gwynwen
talking?
wants to hand you her magic axe, the returning axe, because if you throw it at it, it will come back to me. You'll
You
probably
have a
miss.
returning
it and,
axe?
like-
I have a returning axe.
It's just heavy.
It's so heavy.
Why do you have
and I'll take it.
Ouch.
But I'm like, ugh.
You see, he's holding with 2 hands.
To be fair, how has he gotten this far with weird abilities and
20
a
feet.
single
Oh,
dagger?
30 feet.
You're still making a little
25 feet.
crystal.
20 feet.
Starts
This
bubbling.
ground starts rumbling. Not the bed itself, but you see forming from the ground about 5 feet from you, an arm and a set of fingers begin to rise out, hitting it, placing its palm against the ground. It begins forming up the rest of a humanoid-shaped body. A collection of crystals pulling up through its limbs, some of them jutting out of its shoulders, some out of its back. And its horrifying face as this thing begins to rise up to look towards you. Silent, has no lungs with which to scream.
You're good, right?
Throw the axe.
And before we get to fight this little boy here, I think that's where we're going to end our session today.
I'm not
Amazing.
mad. I'm not mad. I'm safe. I'm away from everything.
I'm not!
I'm happy.
We're going to do a lot of recap in just a little bit together.
I use a bonus action to
Before
talk to one of you.
people start signing up, I just want to say thank you so much for coming to join us on Stories to D4. You guys are the absolute best.
Thank you.
We'll be here again every Friday at 7 o'clock Central. In addition, we have another thing we do for those of you who are interested and want to learn a little bit more about us, our setting, and just talk D&D on Sundays at the same time. We're going to do another thing called Footnotes, which is where myself and a couple of our players are just going to talk, recap about the session, answer a couple questions you guys have about Dungeons & Dragons, both from a DM point of view or just, hey, talking nerdy hobby stuff. It's a lot of fun, and we're looking forward to seeing you there. Additionally, I did see some requests that people wanted to see the miniatures, so we need to remember to put... I'm going to adjust the
They
camera
will
real
all
quick.
be on our Twitter account.
We're gonna put them on
at
our Twitter.
Stories to D4.
I don't think we have a camera on us right now, but that's
don't.
okay. I'm still gonna look at it and point.
Oh shit, is it just me? No, it's
Yeah,
not just me, it's everybody.
No,
It was just.
At Stories
Oh.
to D4 on Twitter, we will be posting a miniature
Yes.
this week.
We have Stories to D4 on Twitter. We have that on YouTube, where we're going to be putting the entire VOD of today's session on Sunday, so everybody can watch the full thing if you missed part of it or you want to check it out or send it to somebody. That'll all be there.
Before we forget, I want to thank a couple people. I want to thank, we have an amazing artist who's just in our FAQ below, Phil made our phenomenal art, which you've seen below me.
So good.
Thank you,
We-
Phil.
Amazing.
Love
Thank
Phil.
you,
Phil's
Phil.
great. We've
Shout out.
we huh?
Phil's in chat.
Phil's in chat.
You made an elephant.
We're gonna talk to Phil in the future to see. We've had some art before that he's made for us that was incredible. Used for our last campaign. Both, actually, both of these two lovely
Over
ladies
here.
actually had art for their previous characters, who maybe we'll hear about during the course of this campaign.
they're
Perhaps they
very
are
busy.
still
Little
alive.
bit.
It's-
They
They're
may-
very alive.
so
Maybe.
I'm gonna. Hey guys, Victoria, would you mind adjusting the mini cam? We'll put it really
Oh,
low.
goodness.
Let's do a. Let's do a.
Mini cam.
Oh yeah, for sure. We're gonna go ahead and show these right now, Yar. I don't know what that was. I'm so sorry, guys.
I thought
Offensive to people from the West.
Yeah.
Was it?
In Wisconsin.
Wisconsin? Well,
move it forward this way, like a super amount.
how bad?
How bad is it? Oh, it's really bad. Oh, I'm sorry.
A lot. No, give me like Victoria. Like move like 5 inches closer. Oh my gosh!
Oh
everyone.
wow, we are
We're
so
adjusting.
bad.
So sorry.
First stream.
Yeah, you absolutely can. So our miniatures
go.
are these are 3D printed in
Here, just
color
leave
by
them.
Hero
Alex
Forge.
will adjust it.
These are a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun. I worked with each of our players individually to customize our minis. And again, Phil made art for all of these. He had a bit of information to go off of, but made exactly what our players were looking for. So if you're ever looking for a commission, we really recommend you go check him out.
I've been laughing because we said, hey, you did such amazing portrait work. Like, so good on our other characters. Can you give us an elephant?
Right?
And then delivered perfectly.
Elephant.
So good.
Yeah, there's absolutely
I'm not saying you should pull up Silas's art. I'm just saying you should pull up Silas.
Silas's art's been cycling.
I was gonna say it's been.
Guns.
Oh my gosh.
It's just the minis right now, I think.
Oh, he blew it up that way. Yeah.
Yeah.
OBS, everyone. We can change it on the fly.
Yeah.
We'll put the pictures of the Hero Forge up on the Twitter, and we really hope to see you guys next week. We're gonna sign off to not keep you too long, but bye.
Thank you. Bye.
All right.